Laying here, baby, counting stars. Wondering how we got this far, baby. Just you and me. How could we say we didn't know the heartache of letting go, babe? Couldn't we see? Oh, no, no. Yeah. I've been missing you. So if I say you tomorrow, don't you know it's not too long, babe? If I see you crying, can you see your love so strong? You gotta know, I said I think I need you. Rain, rain, go away, won't you come back some other day, babe? I need the sun to shine. It doesn't matter, don't you know? It doesn't matter where I go, baby. You're always on my mind. Whoa, whoa, no, no, baby. Whoa, I need you today. Whoa, no, no, baby. Whoa, I've been missing you. If I say you tomorrow, don't you know it's not too long, babe? If I see you crying, don't you know our love's so strong? You gotta know, I said I think I need you. If I say you tomorrow, don't you know it's not too long, babe? If I see you crying, you gotta know our love that's wrong, babe. If I hear lonely, don't you know I'll be that way? If I say I need to tell you, baby, oh no, I said I think that I love you.
So awesome. Episode 90, STO Roar, MyCityMyMusic.com. We have Mr. Frankie Muriel in the house.
What up? Thank you.
Carry an audience around with you like that? You don't have to feed them. They just like to hear music. See?
Yeah. We got a bus that follows me around so I can have applause on command.
Well, there you go. But you know, it's already programmed in your head, isn't it? I mean,
From a
shit.
young child.
You've been in the business forever and a day, and this is
Whole
a
life, babe.
This is a rarity for you to be out here. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. For
I know we
taking
tried a
time.
few times, and I couldn't change it again on you today. So
That's okay. I appreciate it.
I
I
woke up
appreciate it.
to picture myself staring back at me, and I was like, "Oh man, shit!
I gotta do
I
that
gotta go this today." And I'm in School of Rock because they were doing a corporate walkthrough, and I'm like, "I can't cancel. I gotta be here." So here I am.
Right. But School of Rock, that is so, I mean, we talk about it every week.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for that.
I know you didn't think about this as a kid when you're like the big rock star, but I mean, and eventually you are totally paying it forward. I mean, that's so freaking awesome.
It's cool, man. So I was in there. Ethan is he's the music director, so he's running these kids, and they were doing some Stones today, and they sounded so good.
How cute are they?
It was awesome, man. They were thrown down, and I walked in that room and I said, "Look, guys, because we've got we're a little unique with this school, well, because I'm one of the only owner operators that's actually a performing musician, so I have a little different perspective on it." Mm-hmm. And I built a main stage, which none of the schools have, with lights. I mean, Daryl came down, did all the light show, like it's laid out.
Right.
And I said, when you guys get sounding good, and Ethan says you guys are ready, we'll put you on the main stage and we'll turn it up and blow the windows out of the place.
Oh my
and the
gosh.
kids are just, they love it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted them to feel like it feels when I stand out there.
Well,
and you lights on your face, you can't see, and it's too loud, and we're setting them up right, you know?
Yes, definitely. So Jimmy did Camp Jam for years.
Yeah.
And it was so great. There was a band that formed out of that called the Sages, these 4 kids.
Oh, awesome.
And so a long time ago when Kirkwood Green Station was still open, we booked them. They would open for Petty Cash Junction, which was one of Jimmy's bands.
Right.
And so these 4 kids get up there, and the grandmas and the grandpas and the families and the kids, the place is packed just to see these 4 kids play.
That's amazing.
And these 4 kids get up there, and there's like 4 Jimmy Griffins just going at it, man. They were freaking awesome. And
our longtime roadie tech for Broken Toys of King of the Hill, Perry Watson, his son and Vito's son are in a band. Yes.
Very cool.
And they play.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome.
That is so great.
He sat in with us when we did. I did a night of King of the Hill songs at Diamond, and he played with us, which was pretty cool.
Man, that is so badass. That is so great.
Keep the generations rocking.
Yes, the legacy. You have to keep the legacy going. I mean, it's just. I mean, otherwise, our music will die out.
Absolutely.
But I mean, we've got such a great music community anyway. So, but I mean. So when did you actually start playing music besides from the womb? When did you actually
So Cubby and I, Cub
Cubby.
Cub and I have been playing together since we were 9 years old.
Shut up.
And when we were about 16, we started playing with guys that were like 26. Mm-hmm. So we were a little ahead of the curve with kids our age, and we were already playing clubs and bars. Mm-hmm. We played up in Jerseyville and Alton and all that stuff when we were kids. Right. We had to get dropped off, or he had a license, but sometimes he couldn't get his mom's car, or our dads would pick us up. And we were kicking it in bars when we were 16. And our parents let us as long as our grades didn't suffer. They didn't care. So I've been playing professionally, making money, making my couple $100 a night since I was 16 years old.
Yeah, but think about it. We grew up older. At 16, 17, we were getting into bars. Illinois, the drinking age was 18.
Right.
And if you were a girl, it didn't matter if you were 12.
Right. They let you in, right.
And they weren't that
Grannies. Representing today.
Yeah.
Stages. Mississippi Nights. All of them, man.
Stages was the first place I ever sang a song.
Yeah.
Very first. Where was the first song? Where was the first big stage that you jumped on and said, "Oh, this is what I really want to do"?
I was already, like I said, we were already in a band playing at 16, so I don't remember. It was, the gig that changed all of our lives was the Hazelwood West Talent Show. We were in 8th grade, right? And we started the show as a bunch of kids, underclassmen who nobody knew, nobody cared. Right. And when we got done, everybody in that school knew us. 6 months later, everybody in the school district knew us. Right. And about a year later, everybody in the town knew us. We started playing Animal House and all those places.
What was the name of the band at that time?
High Voltage was that band.
What? Shut up.
So High Voltage turned into Frankie, which turned into, or Chaser, which turned into Frankie, which turned into Broken Toys, which turned into King of the Hill.
But when the foursome got together, you guys, Jimmy, Vito, and George, you 4 brothers.
Well, it was Cub at first. So Cub did the first run.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah. Cub was in it right before we got signed.
He's just too quiet.
Yes.
Cubby,
no,
say something.
Cub was in it all the way up, and then George was like, "I'm going to be your bass player." And we're like, "Yeah, right." And he delivered. Right. And he got in. I think we got signed 6 months later, maybe a year, 8-9 months later.
But you 4, right? Just you 4. You've been known for it, but you're still friends. You still once in a while do a show together, or whatever, which is so cool.
It's hard to get everybody together, but when we do, it just picks up right where it left off, which is cool.
But you four, I mean, as far as how many years you guys were together with all your bands and all your collaborations and all your music, and you guys just and it seems like when you do a reunion, or even if there's just 2 or 3 of you, you just slide right back into where you were.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is so
I mean,
amazing.
you can't,
It is so cool.
It's odd because I play with guys who have been in lots of different bands.
Right.
I mean, Ethan, I can't even count how many different musicians and different bands he's been in. But I literally have played with 2 drummers my whole life.
Right.
Vito and then Paul.
Right.
Like, I've played with maybe 3 bass players my whole life.
Right.
Cub, George, and Cub.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I've had
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
4 or 5 guitar players. Like, I haven't played with a lot of musicians really,
Right.
because these acts I've been in have had good runs. You know
Oh yeah,
what I mean?
definitely for
So
sure.
it's interesting. You know what I mean? I mean, Jamaica's going on 25 years now.
I know. That
crazy.
is so freaking
Crazy. Yeah, a couple.
I mean, you seriously.
We
have been,
put some
I mean,
miles
you are
on,
world
you know?
famous. You really are.
That's a funny. I started that. We were playing Mardi Gras. Back when Mardi Gras was like 300,000 people out on the street.
Right.
And we were in we'd always do a float. I mean, we'd play
Right.
3 gigs on those nights.
Oh, yeah, I
We'd do the
remember
float in the
those.
morning, play full tilt.
Yeah.
Then we'd do a tent show.
Right.
And then we'd play after at like Harry's or some bar or
Right.
something. So we do 3 gigs that night.
Right.
And years and years ago, we were on the float, and it was before it got in front of people, and it's pulling down Broadway. It's kind of by the stadium, and I'm just like clowning on the mic,
Right,
like
right.
sounding like a circus announcer, and it's like echoing.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are. And then one time I was just like, we're the world famous, and it echoed, and everybody's laughing, and I kept
Right.
doing it, and then it just kind of came to shtick.
Yeah.
That's how we sign off now,
But it is. I mean, but you really are, because I mean, you have been around.
I mean,
the
we
world,
play.
though.
Yeah, I mean, in Jamaica, we did shows down in Mexico and Cabo, and I mean, we play everywhere.
You've done-
If
you
somebody
did-
writes a check, we show up.
Well, exactly. You did Alaska, haven't you? Have you done Alaska?
No, not Alaska. We're not northern,
Really.
but we're just on the East Coast or West Coast. We just did San Diego, Vegas. We had a corporate show in Vegas. So yeah,
So
Atlantic City. We've been all over the country for sure, a few times.
What was your inspiration to go that route versus all the original music you've done before that? I mean, what?
I mean, I
besides
thought
the
when I
fact
got
that soul-
signed, man, I thought I would never have to play another original or another cover song in my life. Right? We played 28 days in a row, had a night off, played 14 days in a row.
Right.
By the time we got signed, we had put, so many hours in. It was to play for 35 minutes in an arena was like, we couldn't believe it.
Right.
Because we'd play 4 hours a night like everybody in St. Louis did
Right,
and does.
right,
You
right.
just play all freaking night.
Right.
And so we're like, this is nothing. And we don't even get warmed up in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm in catering, eating my food,
Right,
taking a
right.
shower before it's even like, this is crazy. So we aced that. You know what I
Right.
mean? That was
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
for us.
Right.
And then I came back. It was after the second record,
Mm-hmm.
and then they didn't put it out. And then we came back home, and I was producing some albums, doing some regional production for people.
Right.
And I think I was down in Nashville. I was in Chicago, and then I was in Nashville mastering some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back, and Cub was like, hey, before I left, before even King of the Hill took off, I wanted to do this disco stuff. It was kind of big on the West Coast
Right.
in like the
Oh,
early
yeah.
90s.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it'd be fun, man. I grew up, my brother and sister, their albums.
Right.
Thought that'd be fun to do.
Right.
Put a list together, never did anything about it. I got busy, toured,
Right.
can't do it.
Right.
So I got back home, and Cub was like, hey, I'm doing this disco stuff with some of the guys in Nerve. You guys should come and sit in. I said, oh, that'd be fun, man. It's not my thing. I don't have to sing. I
Right.
was just playing congas, hiding out in the back. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I never left.
And you're
I
still,
literally
and you're-
thought I was going to do it for 2 years. 25 years ago, I thought I was going to do it for 2 weeks.
Oh my! And you're
And
still in the back, and look at you.
Yeah, right. Then I sang one song, then
Yeah,
I
right,
sang
there
4
you go.
songs, then I sang 15 songs, then I sang 35 songs, and here we are. You know what I
I
mean?
know,
It just
but-
blew up instantly.
Right.
Because I think we were having fun.
It is a blast. I mean, your show is very, very, excuse me. It is so electrifying and so mesmerizing. I mean,
Thank you.
We know that when Frankie comes out there, you could come out there and take a nap on the stage, and we would still be going, oh my God, it's him. Just because you have such a great positive energy, and it's just, it
Yeah,
is
and sometimes over the years we've forgotten that a little bit. Like, people come to see us have fun. Like, truly, because when we started this, everybody was getting bummed out in their situations, right? And we just did, let's do something. I mean, we didn't have a for, everybody refers to us as having such slick promo and videos and pictures and all that stuff. We had nothing. For like the first year and a half, we didn't do any promo. We didn't do shit. We just showed up and played, and it was great. We didn't care.
You didn't have to.
We were splitting up cash in the back of the room.
Right.
It was so loose,
Right.
and it brought back to us having fun.
Right.
Like we all used to when we first started.
Right.
And we weren't bogged down by the business of the bands and the personal stuff of the bands and
Right.
the missed opportunities or the disappointments or it was nothing but fun.
Oh, yeah.
And we had fun and we made lots of cash. We were stacking bills and it was just insane because then everybody was like, who are these guys?
Right.
I mean, literally the second time we played at Boomers, there was a line down the street to see us.
Oh, yeah.
It's been,
It's amazing.
20-something years of that,
And you're playing, you're making money off somebody else's music, which is badass. But you put your spin on it, and it's a new song.
Yeah, so
it really is a new song.
We all over the years have struggled with, what are we doing? Like, man, we were doing all this before, and we're still all very active. We still all write. We still record. I've got a kick-ass home studio, professional studio. With all the stuff, all the toys that you can ask for it. And you know what? I paid for it by playing Shake Your Booty. So it's like, I can't complain because I'm still living the life that I wanted to live.
Right.
I'm playing music, playing with guys that I like to play with, people still having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
You can figure out, and then when the industry changed, the bottom fell out of it, and you got guys that have albums on the charts working for UPS, working at dry cleaners.
Right.
I'm like, I look like a genius now because we're still playing music.
Right.
We've never done anything but play music.
Exactly.
So really it doesn't matter what you're playing. Of course, it's more fulfilling when it's your own stuff. When you're out in an arena and you got 10,000 people singing your song, there's nothing like it in the world.
No.
And there's no high that catches it.
No.
It's
and
like
I
you
say
do
that
it,
too,
even if you do it once,
Yes.
it's in your blood forever because you felt it,
Yep.
So really, who cares? People are having fun. I'm playing music, whatever. You know what I mean?
It is such a blast. It is just so
It's
much
not,
fun.
it doesn't equate, just because you play somebody else's. I mean, gosh, pop and rock are the only genres that get looked down upon for playing and reinterpreting other music. Blues, jazz, everything else is cool when you do somebody else's song.
Yeah,
and
but
you have standards or you have, big bands and jazz reinterpretations of music before you. It's applauded.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when pop people do it or rock people do it, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you playing covers? You know what I mean?
No. Because when you guys do it, I mean, the songs you do, some of them I got bored with when I was a kid. I was like, I can't deal with this. But when you guys put your spin on it,
that's what
you
it's about.
breathe-
It's
you
not
breathe
about.
new
We're not a
life
good.
into
We're
it.
not a good cover band. We're not a copycat
No,
band.
you breathe
We do it our
life
own way.
into it, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And the
That's
fact
the
that
point. Like, if we can bring something else to it, if I can sell this thing, if I can pull it off and not look like an idiot, I'm in. You know what I mean? I mean, we're doing at one point when music changed, and we were out in Vegas at that point, and EDM was building up big.
Right.
Bands are getting cut out of venues. We're one of the only bands that still worked in dance clubs that everybody else had DJs.
Right.
And we're the only band they would hire
Right.
because we didn't kill the floor.
no.
So I'm singing songs that I never in a million years thought I would sing. I'm rapping and I'm thinking, I don't want to look like a fool.
Oh, no,
But you
not at
figure it
all.
out. You do it like Tyler would do it, and you pull it off. And then it's like, hey, this works.
Right.
And it kept us working. I mean, changing our genre, changing the way we did things, carried us from 2009 to 2015 easily.
Right.
You know
Oh,
what I mean? Because it's like,
definitely.
we're just playing. We beat the DJ at their own game. We
Right.
just played their set list instead of the DJ playing the band set list and killing your
Right,
set.
exactly.
Right? We just did the opposite.
But everybody relates to you guys, and you've got a variety of people in your band. I mean, everybody is different in your band, and everybody plays, and they're all just so much energy. Everybody
gives it 100%,
Everybody
you know?
relates to everybody in your band, especially like our friends, people that
Yeah.
and then their kids, their legacies are going, oh my God, it's Frankie.
Well, that's
and it is
yeah.
so. It's just so. I think a lot.
We've
of
been
it's
very,
just the
very
fact that-
fortunate. We've worked hard, but at the same time, we've had a lot of goodwill from people in this town and people in other cities that we're popular in. And but you're only as good as your last show.
Right, I know.
And we've always had that. We've always had that in common together as a group,
Right,
and we don't want to let people down.
right.
I don't want to let the guys on stage down. They don't want to let me down. And we don't want to let people down that pay hard-earned money to come waste a few hours with us and forget about their lives.
Right.
Right?
But you guys.
They don't want to see us, bitching and moaning about our life. Nobody cares. They just want to have a good time.
Exactly.
You know?
But I mean, it was so awesome. I mean, I cried a little when I saw JP's picture. I was like, oh,
That was
he's
so
back.
fun bringing him
Oh
back
my
out of
God.
mothballs.
I mean, I cried when I talked to him and he said he had to leave the band, and I was like, oh my, it just broke his heart. It broke everybody's heart because he's just so freaking
He's
badass.
amazing.
I mean, he was.
He was like, I don't know if I can do it. I was like, you get back up here on
Get
stage.
your
and-
ass out
Yeah,
there.
he killed the other night.
Of course he did.
Killed. That
Oh
was so
my
fun, man.
God. I mean, he was just so. He was,
25, I think, was more fun than 20. 20 is a lot of pressure. You don't want to look like you want to pack the place, sell it out,
Right.
do all these things.
Right.
This time we didn't care. It's like 25, let's just have fun. And we mended a lot of relationships with people that were not in the band anymore. They all came in, and it was just fun.
Right.
Exactly. Which is how it should be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no matter what, I mean, your friendships from your past bandmates, it just keeps going on, and it still lasts, and there's not any petty.
Yeah, I saw George today. It was great.
And
He's at
it
the
was-
school. He's teaching at the school.
Good,
And he
that
was with the
is
kids
awesome.
today, and it's always good when I see him. He always cracks me up.
He is definitely a brother. from-
Ethan's been my right hand. I mean, I called him when Ethan came into the fold, kind of a way of me helping him
Right.
when he was on American Idol, and I
Right.
produced some stuff for him. Then I started using him on tracks that I was producing for other people. It's kind of
Right.
a utility guy, and then we got really close. And then he's the first guy I called. I texted when JP left,
Right.
and he's been my right hand since, man.
He's a total pro. I mean, and
he can play anything.
Oh my
and he
gosh, yes.
gives it. He's great.
and he's a sweetheart. There's no diva, no bullshit.
You should
there.
see him with the kids, man. It's
He is
cool.
just
That's
awesome.
that's like his hidden calling. You know what I mean? I
Right.
mean, he's so good with these kids, and it's amazing to see him in that role. You know what I mean?
And I'm
I'm
sure-
glad to be able to give him that opportunity.
I'm sure you're the same way. I bet you're the same way. And you never think that growing up with all rock star gods, you and George and Obed. His wife just posted that picture on Facebook of him and his Gampaw. He's the best Gampaw in the whole world.
That's amazing.
I mean, when he brings his grandson to
Right.
a couple of gigs, and he's not Obed the monster shredder. He's
Right.
like Gampaw. He's just the sweetest.
That's awesome.
It'll bring a tear to your eye when you're going, this guy, who everybody's just in awe of. But yeah, when that baby
Oh,
walks
he's been
around,
freaking us out since we were kids. He's a wizard.
amazing. He's amazing. But yeah, it's like I think I posted a meme. When a 3-year-old hands you a toy telephone, you answer it.
Right.
Because that's just the way it is. But yeah, kids are great. So what's your average age of your kids? Are they all in 6th and 7th grade, or are they like preteens, or where are you at?
It runs the gamut. We've got a program we call Little Wings. So that's like 5. And they're in there just playing on all the different,
Right.
kind of limited instruments, so they can just see what they want.
Right.
And then we've got the next rung up is called Rookies, and that's kind of for kids from like 8 to maybe 10, that are they're interested in an instrument. They're not really sure which one, so
Right.
we let them try one, and they zone in on one, and
Right.
they get that. Then it's Rock 101, all right? So that's from like 10 on up,
Right.
and that's how you learn how to tune and plug in and
Right.
and learn songs and learn the basics of your instrument.
Right.
And then we have the performance groups, which are, if you're younger and a wizard, then you get bumped up.
Right.
And these are the kids in their teens that are, wanting to play in a band.
Right.
So the cool thing about this school, about School of Rock in general, and what attracted me to it was, when we came up, you just learned lessons from a teacher and then you practice at home. That was
Right,
it.
right.
And if you were lucky, you had one friend or two down the street
Right.
that you could kind of bash some
in
shit
their
out with,
garage,
right?
in their garage.
This, we literally put them in a group from day one.
Right.
And then when they're in their lessons, they're learning what the group is supposed to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're playing Start Me Up or Satisfaction,
Right.
the kid doing guitar lessons is learning the riff.
Right.
The drummer's learning the drum part.
Right.
Bass player's learning the bass part. And when we get them together, they're playing the song right off the bat.
That's awesome.
Instead of learning all your basics, which is important.
Right.
But it's almost flipped. Instead of learning your basics, then learning a song, then learning how to play with others, you play with others, and then you learn your basics by playing with others.
Right,
And that's what's so
exactly.
genius about this program, and why I'm into it.
Oh yeah,
you know?
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's I'm just thinking that when So when they graduate, do they have to form a band and put on
Well,
a
we form a
performance?
band for
Like
them,
you-
and then
you
we
put it
have an
together?
all-stars and a house band
Right.
where we'll go get them gigs.
Oh, very
And
cool.
we'll put them in Diamond, or we'll put them
Right.
at Brewski's. We're like, they'll play,
Well,
or
I'm
they'll
booking-
open up
I'm-
Chevy Vegas or whatever. You know
well,
what I
I'm
mean?
booking parrots. Let me know. They could come in and play.
Exactly.
That would be freaking awesome.
So it's pretty cool, and some of
That-
these kids are wizards, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really cool to see.
But you can pick out the ones that you know are going to be like, okay.
Yeah, and that
got
are serious about it. Some kids are doing it to get into a group. Maybe they're not sports people. Maybe they're not in a dance.
Right.
But they want something, and the confidence that these kids get, when they hear themselves playing a song with other
Right,
people, and
right.
and it sounds good.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's something about when you're in a band, you're in a gang, and there's something about being in a gang when you're a kid, and you have identity, and you're like supporting each other, and you're working towards a goal.
Right.
To have that to offer to these kids is really, really cool. You know. And that's why I'm doing it.
So are you using? So you guys line up the music. Are you picking the songs that have that oomph that's gonna showcase
So
them?
the
Like,
school, School Rock Corporate has a thing called the Method app, and they have all of these things in it: the songs, the way you do it, the charts, the notes, and it's all figured out, right? So what I do for our first show, I pick Beatles and Stones.
very cool.
Right?
Yes.
So some of these songs are a little easier to learn, accessible, especially the early
Right.
songs that they have.
Sure.
So I'll put a show together where we're playing, it's like Beatles versus Stones.
Right.
And then these kids will play the songs, and it's
Right.
it's coming out great. Ethan's whipping them up in shape, and George is kind of the assistant there, assistant music director in that band. And they're running the kids through the paces. I heard them tonight. They sounded great. I heard them right before I came over, and I hadn't heard them yet. And they were telling me how good they sounded, but when I heard them, I was like, these kids are sounding pretty good.
That is freaking awesome. I mean, that's just, and just the whole positive energy. Well, you know Molly Sims, don't you?
Of course.
She's just, her voice is like, wow. She's very shy though, but you you put a microphone in front of her, like Mark Quinn, very
Right.
shy. Put a microphone, it's like, whoa. I mean, get out of
That's
the way.
that's where they
because
find their voice,
it
so to
is
speak.
So yeah, Molly runs Baldwin. I think she's got the Baldwin store. Is
Yeah.
that right? And but yeah, she's awesome, and she's also played with a ton of musicians, and her music style's a little different, but
It's all different. That's the
still-
cool thing about music, man. It's like there's something for everybody.
And she's always writing. Are you still writing?
Absolutely. I got
Good.
2 albums in the can, actually. I mean, we got a lot of stuff that we don't talk about. We push Vegas and we push the stuff we do, but we're all cranking away,
Right. And
And it's about, in this climate and this the way the business, it's about trying to figure out how to put it out the smart way, so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. There's so much content now. It's constant content. We're constantly being barraged with, hey, listen to my song, listen to my album, listen to my
Right,
thing.
right.
So I'm just kind of waiting to see. I got to sing on some stuff. We cut another, before I moved studios, I built that new one. Oh, so you haven't seen that one. You saw the old one.
the one on Hampton.
Yeah. So sold that, built a new one.
Mm-hmm.
So before I closed the doors, we cut a last batch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got some good stuff in the can.
So you work with Dirty King. You've done a bunch of their stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you're on one of their songs.
Yeah.
Or is it just one, or have you
Just
done a
one,
couple? Just the
yeah.
one. And
We've had a good time with those boys.
Oh, they're great. But I mean, but you've known them and you work with them. So you got a new band that comes and says, oh, "Please help me, please help me." So do you have a lot of bands you're working with now, or just individuals?
No,
with
I don't have the
songs, or-
time, so I have to really, it's either, if they're recommended by a friend, like Walter brought me those guys.
Right.
I have to, one, dig the stuff.
Right.
Two, see if I can even help, or if I can bring what I can bring to it.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? And if I can, and they pay up, we're in, and we start rolling.
That's
You know,
awesome.
and then it doesn't become about the business anymore. Then it's about just making great music.
Right.
Kick ass, pounding in your face stuff. Which I like to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. So
But I don't need to do it to keep the lights on, so it's like I can be picky and choosy about who I want in my personal space. You know what I
Right,
mean? Because
exactly.
I'm always working on something. So if I'm working with somebody else, I have to push my stuff or somebody else's stuff to the side to do it.
Right.
So it has to be worth doing.
So after King of the Hill, there was Helen Handbasket, and that was kind of. Were you in that? Or
Nope.
was that was just George?
That was George and Jimmy and Vito.
Okay. Because
yeah.
they had a few songs. They
Nah,
had-
yeah, I don't know if
I
George.
was
That wasn't
thinking-
George. It was Jimmy and Vito.
Yeah, that was George.
Okay.
Yeah, that was George. And then your Army, Like an Army.
Like an Army.
How long? What are you still doing anything with that, or was
So
that
that's
just,
kind of that was just a
was
you know
that-
I wanted to rock again. So I'd been doing Vegas for about 15 years at this point. I thought, man, I want to rock again. And some music just came out, And
Oh, you did the whole '80s video and the girl in the shower.
yeah,
and
yeah,
all that.
yeah.
I was
We
like,
found her in
oh,
Vegas.
he's right
And
in
he's
it.
the guy, yeah. And then Rich came in and played on
Right,
the stuff. So
uh-huh.
we had Fortis in there. JP,
Right.
Ethan did a lot of the acoustic stuff and some rhythm guitars. Paul and I wrote most of the stuff. And it was great. It was fun. It was fun to rock.
awesome.
And then James Michael from 6 a.m. mixed all the stuff.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it was cool. And I talked to Doc McGee about it. We were gonna work something out, but just his nature of the business, he's like, I love it. I'm a fan, but I don't know how to sell things right now in this way things are.
I know.
Active rock's a little different than so we just kind of it's another great project that people dig, but it's just kind of sitting there. You know what I mean?
So what's your next project? Are you gonna do a different spin on your music, or do a different style, or just make it?
I started thinking about what do I want to sing when I'm an old man, right? Because I don't want to
You're
sing.
never gonna be
I don't want
old,
to sing
Frankie.
Bruno Mars and
You're never gonna be old.
Black Eyed Peas, which have paid me well and served me well
Yes,
in my
they
life. So I
have.
will not slam it at all. They're people's favorite songs. Every song is someone's favorite song, even if it ain't mine. You know what I mean?
I know, but you guys pull it off and put your spin on it.
So I'm like,
It's
do
just
I want to
amazing.
sing this shit when I'm 60? You know what
Your
I
music.
mean?
What about your music?
So that's what I'm saying. So I started thinking about it and what do I like? What is my voice like? So I did a blues record.
Really?
And
Oh.
actually Zito kind of was like,
well,
dude,
there
you should
go.
do this
Yes.
stuff. And we've got some songs in the can. He's played on a couple of things. We actually had a
cool.
deal worked out with his label, but we didn't end up moving forward with it. But so he's a great guy. And he thought, yeah, there's a path for this. You know what I mean?
There is definitely.
So we've got one in the can. I got two in the can. One's not finished. I got to mix it and sing some vocals on it. But it's good stuff.
Blues.
good
I'm
stuff.
impressed. Very cool. Is it all your own music, or did you read?
Oh, I've done some covers. I've done some great songs. I've always wanted to. I wish I wrote songs. Songs that meant something to me.
Right.
So that's how it started. It was just like songs that kind of I've always wanted to do, or always wanted to play in a band and didn't,
Right.
or did back in the day and
Right,
didn't.
right, right.
You know, we did a version of what the heck's I can't think of the song now. Aerosmith did a cover of it. It's an old Motown song, but Broken Toys used to play it.
It is.
Well, I have to look it up now.
One. Anyway.
Anyway, so we did a
So-
cover of that. I've always wanted to do it. It used to kill in back in the day. So I finally recorded a version of that. That's really cool.
But that's a
It's gonna
whole.
drive me crazy if I don't know this.
But that's a whole different mindset when you get into the blues side of it,
Yeah.
because it's like
Remember,
remember, right? But I mean, it's
been
a
down so long. Old Doors
Right.
song. You got to hear this version and take your whiskey home. I can send it to you if you can play it on the. Did we do a break or anything here?
Yeah, we'll do a break. Yeah, if you
Play a
want to.
song and then I'll
Sure.
send it to you.
Okay.
Zito's on that one.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
Yeah,
He did it
Zito's
with horns and stuff. It's
Oh,
slamming. It's really cool.
that is awesome.
So-
That is awesome. Very cool. So blues, and is there a genre you haven't done?
Let's see. I've cut a country song.
You did a country song.
So I've been singing with this band in Germany, and this guy is so cool, but he gets all the guys from our era, right? So he's
Right,
got
right.
like guys from Bang Tango on it, guys from Faster Pussycat, LA
Right.
Guns.
Right.
So he's played on a bunch, all the solos. He's got I'm blocking out. I think it's
Is it the
tequila.
tequila?
It's the tequila
It's not
tonight.
because you're old. It's
No,
the
no,
tequila.
it's definitely the tequila.
Do you need to sing a song and get back in your
He's
mind?
got who was the guitar player in Kiss? Not anymore, but was.
Not Peter. Not
I mean, I can't think of it. My gosh. So anyway, he's playing on a song.
It's not Ace.
What's the damn? I feel so bad. I can't remember anybody's name, but you're getting me buzzed here.
Now I'm twisting your arm. What flavor tequila you want? This
Right,
kind.
this kind.
Anyway,
so anyway, he hires all these guys
Right.
that have done stuff.
Not Gene.
No, not Gene, but we did. But Gene, so he knows Gene. We're doing on this last album.
You got Gene, Ace,
A,
Paul, and Peter.
No, he was in the later one. He was
Okay.
when he played with Eric. Let's see here.
Oh, pick one.
Bruce Kulick. Sorry. So
Bruce, sorry,
he's
Bruce.
playing all the solos on this stuff.
Right.
L.A. Guns. Tracy Guns plays a bunch of guitar parts. Right. So he gets all these guys from the old school, right? And the stuff's pretty good. It's called Shameless. I did they did a cover. That's what I think one of the first ones I did with them was like a Billy Ocean cover, like "Get Out of My Car" or something. Yeah.
Oh,
so they do this really cool. They do this really cool spin on stuff, and then they have got a bunch of originals. And we did a. We're shooting the videos for. I started singing one song, then I sang two. I think I've sang like 4 or 5 on this last album that's getting ready to come out in the spring. And they're great guys. They send me the tracks. I sing them. I send them back. I'm like, okay, whatever, you know.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, but they're really cool. So we've got a good working relationship with them. And they're like kind of keeping that old hair band, rock and roll, Sunset Strip alive. They're from Germany, and they got the spirit of the old stuff, you know, which is cool. So they're fun to work with.
And they party all night long.
All the time. All the time.
So, I've showed him this earlier. I have an old Spotlight magazine, which is freaking awesome. And this cover you said was shot by the guy who does Guns N' Roses.
He did all the Guns N' Roses stuff back in the day. I believe his name was Robert John. I think from the background, we showed up that afternoon when we were in LA and we shot it.
How many pictures did you take before you decided on this one? Do you remember?
Oh, man, we take hundreds.
Yes.
We take hundreds, and then we narrow it down to a couple dozen.
Right.
And then we have 3 or 4 options, and that's the ones that go out.
So awesome. And you know, Third Shoot's got all your posters. And
Yeah,
everything.
so we did that.
Wasn't one of them from Germany?
Yeah.
That they had?
That was so cool. There was some stuff I hadn't seen in decades.
But God, isn't that just so? It's just like having somebody sing your song back to you. When you see your
Yeah, no,
pictures,
it's like,
know?
this is your life, for real.
And all that pretty hair. But that is so awesome. Yeah, this magazine. It's dated 1991, guys, and it's got all the venues in it. I mean, half of them aren't even around anymore.
Oh, right, but that was back in the day.
It's got want ads in here, personals, the whole 9 yards. It's freaking great. It's awesome. Here's one, an old Fred Pierce drum shop
that's awesome.
ad. It's pretty.
So
cool.
yeah, we were probably gone that whole. We were gone for a couple of years. Yeah.
So where was?
So I saw this and I have it, but.
Were you guys traveling on your own, or just with a whole bunch of different bands, or were you?
Yeah,
like
we
on
opened
a
up for
circuit?
everybody, man. We opened up for White Lion and
Did you have
Steelheart.
Did you have a favorite show or a favorite band that you really, really liked to play with that you didn't think you would ever get to play with, or was there any? I know you've got some really great memories.
No, I
and
mean
all
we
kinds
did.
of
We did this
stories.
one festival in Arizona. It was in the It was in the college stadium, but I can't remember. It was the Sun Devil Stadium, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. But it was like Warrant. Us, it was just literally everybody. LA Guns, Badlands. It was like 10 of us there. So that was a fun one.
So did you feel like you're like the little kids and you're looking around going, oh my God, we're playing a lot of these guys?
No. Back then, man, we were cocky and like, just show us where to go. Boom. And we went, starter gun went off and the kids from St. Louis did our shit and we kicked ass and left. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
That was kind of always what we did.
That is very cool. That is very cool.
But it was fun, This reminds me of some of the magazines we'd been in over the years. You'd start out, you get a little blurb in the back, and then you'd kind of move up front, then you'd get a little bit of a bigger story, and then you'd get a little box in the cover. It'd be like Black Crows and a little box of me in there.
Right.
You'd open it up, and we'd be in the table. Like you start moving up the ladder,
Isn't that cool?
Which is cool.
What was
Kerrang, Metal Edge, all those.
Do you remember the first time you saw your picture on a magazine or a rag or something or anything?
I don't.
But
What happens when you get signed and you get a song on the radio and a song on MTV and you work so much every day, you don't have time to like notice what's happening. So you only figure that all out when you're done.
Right.
It's like you're shell shocked because you literally you're in some city. We would do 3 cities a day.
Right.
So you wake up in a city, you do the interview, you take some pictures, then you do the show, then you drive to the next one, or it was nuts. So every day you were just doing interviews, taking pictures, and you don't know where they're coming out.
Right.
So then you see them later, or your press person sends them to you, or you see them when you get home, or whatever, So you don't know. I do remember the first time I saw the video of If I Say.
Really?
Yeah, we were all in London. And we were playing there we were on tour with Extreme, and I remember falling asleep and I heard the song. I thought I was dreaming the song.
Right.
And I opened my eye, and it was a close-up of my face staring at me on the TV. I thought I was dreaming, right? I thought, oh, I'm on TV. This is cool, man. Yeah. And then my phone rang.
Right.
Back then, there was no cell phone, so they're
Right.
calling rooms. Everybody's
Right.
like, dude, we're on MTV. Dude, we're on MTV. And then the phone, I hang up the phone, and Vito calls, dude, we're on fucking MTV. Then I hang up the phone, and George calls, dude, we're on MTV. And I was like, shit, we're on MTV, man.
Well, that's
You
how
know?
badass is that?
And that was cool.
That is very
know?
cool. But how?
Then we're like ball busters of the week. I remember that. So we went out with Lynch Mob. Took us on our first tour, first national tour, which was with George Lynch.
Right.
And we met him down in Hickory, North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever the Hickory is.
Right.
And that week we had beaten him in one of the like Headbangers Ball call-in video stuff. So we beat him.
Right.
You know, and then we were the opening band. It was funny.
That is freaking.
And I remember it
hilarious.
because Jimmy was a fan of the Wah, and we had it on our songs. And all of a sudden, the next night, like after this first night we played with him, the second night sound check became 4 hours, so we didn't get one. And George was trying out wah wah pedals for like 4 hours.
Oh my God.
4 freaking hours.
Oh my God.
Yes. So, that's my Lynch Mob. But they were fun. We had a good time with them. Wild McBrown was cool. Oni, the singer, was cool. We had a good time. We went up and down the East Coast with those guys.
That's a blast. But when you did come home and your friends and your family and the people who were there from the beginning, did it kind of humble you when they're like, they're so, oh my God.
So this
had
is the
to
weird
be-
thing. This
be
is the
the
weird thing, and
most-
only people that have gone through this kind of thing can realize you don't change. Everybody around you changes, right? Your situation changes,
Right.
and people treat you different.
Right.
You're still the same person.
Right.
You're just working hard. You're just trying to make a buck. Everybody thinks you're rolling, but you're not rolling yet because you're just working.
Right.
You haven't
Working your
you haven't
asses
cashed
off.
any checks yet.
Right.
But so everybody treats you different, and we're looking at each other, and like we're at stages, but people are staring at us, and people are acting different. I'm like, we're the same guys that were just here a year ago.
Right, right.
Nothing has changed. So you realize that your inner circle doesn't change, but it changes how people look at you. So then you start getting a little more guarded because then it starts getting weird, and
Right.
family gets weird, and friends get weird, and you're just like, I'm the same person. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Literally, nothing has changed except I'm working my ass off trying to make something happen.
Right,
you know?
right, definitely.
So it is weird, and you also kind of live your experience through people around you because you're so busy working that you don't experience what's happening.
Right.
You know, which is weird.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you miss out on a lot of stuff? I mean, traveling. I mean, when you were touring and everything, or didn't realize it till you got home that you missed out on a bunch of stuff, like maybe some family stuff. Or
Oh, of course.
some
I mean,
events or anything
having
like that?
relationships, doing this stuff for a living, you miss everything. Quite honestly, it's a hard. The music business is a fickle mistress, man. But you chase it, and it lets
Right.
you down, and it builds you up, and
Right.
it's good to you, and it's bad to you, but you don't care because you love it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We have a guest.
I don't know. Somebody's at the door.
Shot time.
It's shot time. Another shot time.
Play some
Probably
music, and I'll
Stumpy.
get you a track.
We will. So I know you don't know all the tracks by heart. We'll just go down to the next one. How about track 3 and track 4? Because I don't have the names on it. It's probably Stump. Of course he does, because he wants to get a picture. We're going to make sure and put a bag over his head. I knew it was you, Stump. Come on in.
How'd you know?
Because we just got through saying you always come by.
What's up, brother?
Episode 90, STL Roar, MyCityMyMusic.com. We're going to take a quick break. We got Frankie Muriel in the house. And George Stump showed up. Because he's a hound dog for a picture. Yes, we know you're
Listen,
a whore.
I was here last
It's all
week
good.
with cake and beer, and nobody's here.
Well, sorry. I was over at Steve's Hot Dogs. Doing my
Why you
thing.
doing
over
your,
there.
no, that was Wednesday.
It was Wednesday.
What's the easiest way to send it to you? For the email or text? Or...
Send it to Tweezy. What can he send it to? He's gonna send a song over. What is it?
It's a wave.
It's a wave. That's good. That's so good. Okay, let him put it in. So we're gonna play some music real quick.
I mean, email or.
What
Oh, it's my body. Alice Cooper
something inside me, yeah. You better tell me. It's really up to you. If you got the time to find out who I really am. What does it take to get inside of your mind? Yeah. Give me a break, yeah, and take a chance for the very first time. You better tell me, it's really up to you. If you got the time to find out who I really am. What have I done that makes you wanna love me? Now is it my body or someone I might be? Or something inside me, yeah. Tell me, it's really up to you. If you got the time to find out who I really am. You better tell me, it's really up to you. If you got the time to find out who I really Look into a child's eyes, so pure inside. Look into a child's heart. Can't you see it's torn apart? Could they see it, or did they just not care? A little girl so lost when she said her prayers. Did your daddy tell you stories? Did he tell you why the sky was blue? Did your daddy ever say he's sorry? Yeah. Little Lisa, did your daddy love you? Step inside a child's mind. Do you see the pain she hides? You tell her it's a rainy day, can't go out and play. She says, then why is the sun still shining? your daddy love you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did your daddy tell you stories? Did he tell you that the sky was blue? Did your daddy ever say he's sorry? Yeah. Little Lisa, did your daddy love you? Well, my baby, she don't want me around. Says she's sad, watching me fall down. She wants the good life, all the best. I want that bottle better than the rest. She said, I think that you had for a whole lot of trouble. Yeah, I think that you had for a whole lot of trouble. Well, I think that you're headed for some trouble if you take your whiskey. What a liquor in the nighttime leaves strange memories. Seems a lifetime since yesterday. Come the daybreak,
So, Frankie, you have a very distinct voice, and it's badass no matter what you sing. I mean, like I said, you could be taking a nap and still kill it. So, how did you decide? I mean, you always you find your voice, and you're always doing different things. So, well, how did you decide where you or do you have you decided yet where you want your voice to be, or it's just you just wing it?
It's always been from the very beginning. If it feels right and I feel like I can pull it off and I look like an idiot, then that's, I mean, it's just so, it's very simple. I tell this with bands that I work with, younger bands. It's very simple. Just don't let people see what you can't do. And you'll look like a genius, right? It's very simple. Just let everybody what they see you do be badass, right?
Exactly.
Don't try to do shit you can't pull off. You'll be all right. That's half the battle, right? So it's about finding what feels good, what feels comfortable, what I feel I can interpret or I can sell, what I feel like I can pull off. Then we do it.
And it's all about confidence, and you're out there on the stage doing it, you're bringing it. I mean, because no matter what, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Think about it. Right. I mean, and when you're out there on stage, we know it's going to be a show. And it doesn't, and a lot of people don't realize that, performers do have esteem issues, and they think and they worry and they wonder and they think, oh my God, but you know what? We don't see that. We just see you come out there bringing it, and it's like,
by the time, I mean, when you're a guy like me or the guys like us, we've done it so long, so many years, and so many different levels, you know what I mean? Right. I've sang at bat mitzvahs, and I've sang in arenas. Like, you can't, you don't have it. There's no ego left. You know what I mean? I've sold out shows, and I've had no one come to my fucking shows.
What?
Right?
You just the same on. I've seen
you just got to do what you got to do, right?
You do it like it is.
But when you've done it enough, that shit don't matter. It's more fun when you have that energy.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. You're just doing what you do.
Are you a legacy? I mean, as far as growing up, was there music in your house?
Oh, yes. I mean, my dad, he was a Latin percussionist, drummer. Like, I grew up in music. I was esteemed in music.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? I grew up playing on my dad's drums and all the instruments that the guys in the bands left, at the house. And my siblings. It was just what we did. There was I've never done anything else. And I've never wanted to do anything else.
That's awesome, you had the support of your family.
And I had the support of my family,
That's a whole lot.
Gear. But Pops was cool, man. Like, he was like, I had a great mix of, you can do anything you want to do, and we believe in you, but it ain't easy.
Right.
He tempered it with that. Like,
my
hey, you want to play drums for a living, you're going to be broke. So don't ask me for a car. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have you got a car and no gas money. That's on you. You chose this.
Right.
So he was supportive but yet realistic.
Right.
He always told me they're gonna want more. Who cares if you got one great song? Right. Proud of you, son. Song sounds great. You need to have 5 because they're always gonna want more.
Exactly.
So that was kind of how I grew up. Like, that's great. Pat on the back, but now get back to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? He had the work ethic.
Yep.
So I'm grateful for that because you don't rest on anything. I always assume no one's gonna come.
Right.
Like, and that sounds crazy from somebody who's played for so long for so many people.
Right.
But we work like we don't know if anybody's coming.
That's why you asked it.
That's
why.
Right. But you always bring it, whether there's one person or a million people there.
Try to.
So,
people don't care if you're having a bad day. People don't care what's going on in your personal life. People don't care if you're sick.
Right.
People don't give a shit.
Selfish.
No.
Right?
Fans
they
are
just
selfish.
want to see you. They want you to entertain them, and they know that you're going to bring it. That's why you have so many people.
I had some Karens on the site, on
awesome.
social media a couple weeks ago. Oh, he doesn't have the energy he used to have,
What?
I'm 25 years
20
older,
years old at
but I ain't even giving that. I'm not even giving that an excuse because I still bring it. And then I started just being snarky, posting videos of me. Come on,
bring it.
You know what I mean? I don't say I don't care about our fans. Don't say she says something like, "Oh, he acts like he doesn't like his job." I'm like, are you at the same show that we're all at?
Oh my God!
Right?
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Does she know who she's talking about?
That's what I said.
Oh.
Said, never mind who you thought I was. I'm Dr. Z, bitch.
That's right. I got this. I got you. Bring it. Oh my God.
But my point
ridiculous.
is, people don't give a shit. People don't care what you're going through. They're spending their money and they want to see a show.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if we give you a arena show in a club for $10. People still have something to say about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
But what can you do? You know what I mean? You win some, you lose some. You just got to bring it.
You do, know? But you always do. And
we try.
And you guys are all total pros, no matter what, and it's amazing. Absolutely. I mean, I've seen you at, third shoot outside, sweating your asses off in the blazing sun. And
It's part of the
heat.
deal, man. I'm just
And
glad
it's
anybody
it's
comes and gives a
still-
shit. You know what I mean?
It's still a killer show. I mean, you don't care. This is what you're doing, and nobody else does either. Because once they see you playing, it's like, oh, we're gonna forget our life because Frankie's gonna entertain us, and it's gonna be friggin' awesome.
That's why we're there. That's
So-
why the
At least
guys
for
paying
that
us
hour
the
anyway,
money.
You're
Right.
forgetting about it. You're rocking. man.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's great.
You
I
know,
mean, yeah, you do.
that's literally what we do. We make people forget about what's going on in their life for a couple hours. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And everyone needs that.
And it's we're very blessed and fortunate to be able to do it and make a buck. And in this world, the way things, I mean, the pandemic, if that didn't show all of us, like, man, they could take this away in a minute. We
Yeah.
have no control.
You guys have my sister hooked on that, the happy hour thing.
So-
You just-
so
you just
that
were the
was-
first
Yeah,
ones
when
to
you
start
guys
So
were
that
doing
podcasting.
started-
was
came out.
fucking
Yeah,
amazing.
that
You
was
know,
killer.
we
Everybody
were
was
like,
great.
idea.
we can't play.
You were one of the
Right.
first ones to pop that out.
Yeah,
too.
we,
that
we,
was
we
freaking
can't
awesome.
play, and I'm like, man, and we're used to playing all the time.
Right.
So partly it was for us to kind of have something to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll tell you what,
So you
not
didn't
playing
lose
for a
that.
year and then you go out and play, we were like, and we're in shape.
awkward,
and
yeah.
it was hard.
Yeah.
And then the first time we went back, we had like 4 nights in a row.
Right.
Like
You gotta
we-
work it, man.
I thought it was gonna
like a
ramp
car.
up slowly. It was a light switch, man.
Yeah,
we went 4 days in a row. All of a sudden, MGM decided we want music 7 nights a week. Can you guys come on Monday? We're like, shit, okay.
Okay,
You know
sure,
what I
why
mean?
Because you kept what
So I'm
your
playing
dad
Monday,
said.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
kept
I get
that
home on
grind.
Thursday. I play Friday, Saturday.
Right.
Like then I'm Sunday in Cincinnati or Atlantic City. Like it's nuts.
That's awesome.
You know?
That
Because you
is
kept
so
that
great.
drive your dad was talking about.
That's right. That's right.
So but you have a new show. You have another. You have your show coming up on the 23rd. At the
We're doing
pageant.
Prince, yes,
Yes.
which we love doing
Oh,
that
that's-
show,
That-
man.
when you do that, it is so. Oh my God, it's so amazing.
And that that started just again, we're
long
not
ago.
trying to mimic anyone. We're not
No.
trying. We're not a cover band that tries to impersonate. We're not like a tribute band that tries to be like the people.
Right.
We
More of a
just like
tribute to him.
and the music.
Yeah.
And that specific music.
Right.
Right.
But
So we
he-
all
Yeah.
came up in the Revolution era.
Yes.
1999. I mean, Dirty Mind, 1999, Purple Rain. Those were our years.
Yeah.
The 90s Prince, love, respect, but not the stuff that we all are into. Right. So we're doing that section of his career, all of the whole album Purple Rain, which is unbelievable. And we did it we had a night off. The first time we did it was the year that he passed away.
right.
And I had got more texts and messages on social media about Prince dying than when my dad passed away. And I was
Right.
like, this is odd that people associate us or me with this.
Right.
It's very bizarre. But hey, I love the music. I grew up on it. We do it well. Let's do it. So I did a post. Hey, we're going to play Prince all night at Rock House. It sold out. So then we did a second show the same night. We did 2 shows back to back the same night.
Yeah.
Doubleheader.
Yeah, and we've been doing it every year since.
Yes,
and
it's
the
great.
crowds love it. We love doing it. You know, it's a fun,
It's gotten bigger,
great
too.
night. There's a lot of good feeling in the air. You know what I
And
mean?
He was a
It's
great
cool
artist.
thing. He was
under-
the artist. You know what I
He
mean?
was underrated. I mean,
As a
he
guitar
played-
player, he was underrated.
No, no,
Right.
he
I
was.
mean-
He played like 60 some odd instruments,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
wrote so many songs. People
Yeah.
didn't realize
No,
how
he
many
changed,
songs
he
he
changed.
guitar.
wrote.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he was one amazing individual, and I mean,
And that's
he
a hard
was
show to
like-
do. It's a hard show to do physically. It's a hard show to do. He was amazing. You can't,
Yeah.
And again, we're not mimicking anybody. We're just trying to do justice to the era and those songs
Right.
and the songs that I like and that I feel I can pull off. And for whatever reason, since I was a young guy, in stages, people identified me with these songs.
All
So it
American,
works, right?
That whole
Yeah.
route back
You
there.
know, so we have a good time. Tickets are on sale. It's selling fast, so it will sell out. We sell it out every year. It was weird doing it in the pandemic. Like it was like
People had to be-
limited. It was
they were-
spaced. They wouldn't let them
yeah.
dance. I love the
Yeah.
guys over at the pageant, but it was just weird. People were dancing. They made them sit down and like this is the last
No
thing
moving
that
around,
people
the
do with
pandemic.
us,
Right,
right? You know?
right, exactly. So-
Vegas playing Prince and you can't dance.
You
That's
can't
like
dance.
insanity, right? So this is
People out there
nice.
Just look like what the hell?
We're back to normal. You know what I mean? We're at Del Mar Hall and it's back to normal and asses to elbows and just have a good time.
So there's no restrictions
No,
at all.
no.
Okay, that's
Just get in
cool.
there and
and
play
tickets
and-
they can buy them online. or at the door.
Ticketmaster, it's all over the socials or the Del Mar Hall website or the Vegas website. Click it, you get your ticket, but they're moving fast, so they'll be gone.
Is it
It's
just-
only like 750
Oh,
people.
that's not
so,
bad.
no.
Is it you guys, or do you
man.
have an opener?
so
The
that-
parking's gonna be more.
Are you gonna have an opener, or
No,
just you guys?
750 people, so it's,
Oh,
it's
okay.
going to go quick.
Yeah. Do you have an opener, or is it just you guys?
No, we'll have a DJ playing some
Okay,
old
cool.
school stuff, and then we'll go on.
And that's
so.
Del Mar.
It's Del Mar, and that's our only show. I mean, that's it. We're not doing any club shows this month or in January. So
What about New Year's?
Not this year. It's the
What?
first one.
Oh, you're gonna get to go kick it somewhere.
I'll be in
Vegas?
Mexico, brother.
Oh, okay. There
I'll
you
be in
go.
Cabo having the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I've not been off 30 something years, except for the pandemic, obviously.
Right.
But we did a stream show for that. But yeah, I haven't had a New Year's Eve, regular New Year's off in
I was
35
going to
years.
say, that's usually, that's where you want to be for New Year's is
yeah.
a Vegas show, just because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to be like.
We've had
Yeah.
many legendary
Yes.
Vegas New Year's Eve. So I'll be thinking of everybody in St. Louis when I'm in Cabo.
So what
Hopefully
was,
it's still nice out half-assed.
Well, I was gonna go. I'm still gonna go this year. I've got to go this year. Are you gonna do the Monsters of Rock cruise? Have you done one of those?
Nope, haven't.
It's supposed to be the big one this year, in
Oh, cool.
February. It's gonna be a blast. But yeah,
They talked to us about playing one, but we couldn't get it together with
No.
ourselves and schedules and whatnot.
right. Yeah, this is supposed to be the big one. I don't know how many bands are on this one. in
Coming back,
February.
like, yeah.
It's huge.
I haven't been to a Kiss cruise yet even.
Brother, get yourself a phone. Man.
No, I just smashed it. I just smashed it.
On somebody's
2 days
head.
ago. No, it's like warped, man. It's like in my car door. In my car door. And you got me shaky over here mentioning Cabo. Last time I was down there for Sammy Hagar's birthday party, the Federales got me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
So we stay at a place 6 houses down from Sammy. every
Right
year.
on.
Yeah.
Cool.
And one time, Paul and I, we had breakfast, and we're walking down the beach, taking a walk, shooting shit. We look up, Sammy's like on his balcony, rubbing his belly. It's just
Right.
Stretching it
we're
out.
stretching. He waves to us, we wave back, we walk back. I said, man, he sold 30 million records. We haven't sold one, but today we're doing the same fucking thing he's doing.
Right.
Life's good, man.
He's
Right.
you've talked to him.
He's really down to earth. He's a
He's a
cool,
great guy.
He's a cool person.
And he
He's
loves
super
St.
cool.
Louis, I can tell you that.
You ever been to one of his birthday parties down there?
No.
Dude,
been
go
down there when they were at, but we don't
Yeah,
go, so.
that birthday party's off chain because he always has. He never announces the lineup.
Well, because he never knows. It's whoever's down there
The
partying,
year,
man.
the year I was there, it was I actually flew in with Collective Soul, and I was sitting by the drummer, and I'm like, this dude looks familiar, but he was passed out, you know.
Right.
So I'm like, I tapped him and woke him up. I said, hey, you from the South Side? Because I know like half of St. Louis is down there for his birthday parties. KC shirts everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
We like take over town. So I'm like talking to him. He goes, what are you talking about? Well, if you ask somebody, one of us, you from the South Side.
We know exactly
We
what
know
you're
exactly what we're talking about. So
Right.
I go, nothing. And then I saw Will, the singer, and I started putting together. I go, hey, wake up, Jimmy. I go, I met my daughter's mom at your free concert at Union Station. I'm still paying $530 a month for it. You guys owe me some money. That draft beer and that free shit gets people not thinking, man.
Right.
But my blessing in my life,
Be
though, my
careful
daughter,
who you
man.
have kids with, people. That's the PSA of the
No, I
evening.
had a good mother's daughter, man, for real. But yeah, and it was my blessing in my life, man, having my kid.
Oh, absolutely. It ain't the kid's fault.
No, but I got put in jail that weekend, so you know, if I wouldn't have had her beforehand, who knows? You got a daughter too, don't you?
Yep.
Oh, that's
That's all we're gonna say about
right.
that. That's
We've had a
all
lot
we're
of
gonna say
topics
about
that's
that.
changed in here.
Yes. No, I guess I didn't. I forgot you have a bigger mouth than me.
What we
and
talked
I
about,
should've
yeah.
told you.
What we talked about on the phone the other day too. You know.
Oh, no. Lie
We've
to my
all got
life,
stuff.
but I keep her off the socials
Right,
and keep
right,
her
right,
out of the,
right, right.
out
Yeah,
of the scene.
that's-
Life's a little crazy, so.
Yeah, mine I gotta keep away from me for a
Right.
distance too, so for
Right.
certain
You know
times.
what I
You
mean?
know.
Yeah, you have to. You got to protect them. You know, it used to not be like
God
that.
bless
you
the
know.
children.
Absolutely. Love it. Changed my life.
Definitely.
You got a whole school of students now, though. You got a whole school of kids.
He's got
that
a
are giving-
whole school.
Yeah,
I got a
yeah.
lot of kids now.
Whole school full of kids that you're playing.
So how many? So out of your kids, I mean, you're there. Are you there every day? Do you check on
No.
them every day, or do you do a video?
I
thing
come,
just
I
to
pop
see?
in, I check on the guys, see how they're doing. I was telling them earlier, I saw the kids today playing, you know, they were doing some stones.
Awesome, man.
It was, dude, it was amazing. It was
Yeah,
cool.
it's so cool. To see the kids.
Flashback.
So yeah, I'm there a lot, you know, during the week, pop in and take care of things, you know.
So you see the future Sam Bam Coltons and the future Jimmy Griffins
Oh, yeah.
and the future
They're there.
Frankies and
They're
all
there,
that.
man.
How
Yeah,
many
you see
singers?
yourself in there a
How many
little bit?
singers do you have?
We're a little weak in the singer department, so I'm like, somebody's got to step up
That
here.
would be you.
Or I'm gonna sing. That's what I told him.
He's got a whole
Don't
other
make
band.
me
right?
sing.
I'm
Don't
gonna
make me
jump
get
in
up
and sit
there.
in with you guys. Like, let's get
Yeah,
somebody
hold
up on
on
the
a band.
mic.
Yeah.
Let's get somebody up on the mic.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of So is it mainly boys or is there? Is
No,
there,
we got
is there a
no
half
the
and
girl,
half?
the drummer in the band's a girl.
Yeah, I see on
Another
the
girl guitar
commercials.
player.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
pretty.
so the ratio is coming up as
Yes.
far as
Oh
being
yeah.
equal? That's
It's
good. That's
which
good.
I think is awesome.
That's
You know
great.
what I mean?
That's great. That's for sure. Awesome.
And it's cool that people, you know, for 10 years, kids wanted a laptop to make beats, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's so cool to see kids wanting to have
Music.
wood in their hands and beat this shit and play this
Takes
shit.
away from the synthetic and
Yes.
sugarcoat, you know.
And again, there's nothing wrong with it, man. I mean, music is music.
Right.
Good music is good music, no matter what it is. If it touches people, it's good. If it's played with heart, it means something, right?
Physically playing,
Exactly.
But it's
is a whole
just good to
different
see
element.
people, instead of pressing a space bar,
Yeah.
playing a guitar, playing drums, and throwing down.
That's
You know what I
playing
mean?
music and making music.
Or
That's
hit
right.
14 wah-wah
Right.
pedals. Fuck
Right.
that.
You know what I mean?
Just play.
It's
I mean,
cool.
You know, we grew up with that blood, sweat, and tears, and every note was played by every member.
Yeah,
in
but
the
times
band.
change, and the
And it-
tools
it
that
all
we use to
happens.
make music changes,
Yeah.
and all
Technology.
that. You know, but it's something cool about seeing kids rocking out. Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They learn
So
it.
it's
They
School of
appreciate
Rock.
it better.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So how many School of Rocks are there? Do you know? I mean, they're
I
all
think
over
there's
the
a couple
United
hundred.
States.
They're actually in Brazil. There's in some in Asia. It's a
So you're like part of
yeah.
a franchise?
Yeah.
Or, oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
So
Okay,
we brought
cool.
it. We brought it in.
Oh, nice.
And the other two in St. Louis are corporate owned, but we.
So it's
own
bigger than
ours.
what we see on TV then.
Oh
From
yeah,
here,
yeah.
just
It's
right on.
cool, man. It's a cool program.
It's good for you. I mean, that's
I
just
love being
so-
part of it.
Yeah,
That
that's
is so awesome. When I first heard it, I was like, yes, yay.
And I wanted to do it in the city, but they wouldn't let us.
That's what I was wondering. too,
So the that was kind of a corporate thing. They're so drilled down in the demographics and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to explain to them, look, if you're in Kirkwood, you don't want to drive to the city. If you're in the city, you don't like. Even though it's
Right.
close, people stay in their hoods
Yeah.
around here.
Right,
South
they do.
side.
St. Louis
They
is the
do.
way it is. You
It
know,
is, it
we want to
is.
do one midtown or in the city or in
For
on
the
the
inner
hill
city children.
or in the wet. You know, mid. We just
Yeah.
want to do something in the city.
Right.
But they thought it was too close to the other ones, so they were like, we got St. Peter's, so I've got like, pretty much I have from the river all the way past Wentzville.
So there's a geographic-
Warrenton. So I pretty
Right.
much have from the river, like Ameristar to Warrenton, and then south to like the valley. So
Right.
we can do another one if we want out there. There's a
Right.
lot of people out there. Then I realized after
So
we
that's
already
your like
said,
wide area that
yeah,
you
very.
work
But
with.
I have a big fan base out there. All
Right.
my
Yes.
fans have kids.
Yes,
It just all of a
they
sudden
do.
started snowballing into this like, wow, okay.
How about that?
Cool.
Like the rec
I got
centers
none.
and
I mean, I
stuff.
play out there all the time, so it's like,
Exactly.
you know, it's O'Fallon, it's St. Charles, St. Peter's,
Mm-hmm.
Lake St. Louis,
It's in the line of like with a rec
Wentzville.
center.
You know, we've got all that,
Yeah.
so it's great.
But that, I mean,
And
it's,
then the
it's-
people are coming, which is cool.
Well, definitely. I mean, it's just you paying it forward. I mean, you know, that's freaking awesome. I mean, all the years you've spent, you know, doing what you love, and then you can turn it over and, you know, create a new army of, you know, Frankies and Jimmies and Cubbies and,
Right.
and everything just to keep the legacy going,
Yeah,
you know,
man.
regardless.
It's cool to see it. It's cool to see when it clicks into a kid's mind. You know, they're struggling with something, they're trying to figure out, and then all of a sudden it clicks. Like, oh, that's how you do
I remember that.
it. Right, that we all do. You know, even now you're learning a song, you're like, oh, I got it. Yeah, cool. You know what I mean?
So do you do you help the kids who can't afford
So
certain
we're working on. So we're
things?
brand new. I mean, we only
Or-
opened up in October, so we're like 2 months. This is our second month, literally being, you know, billing people and
Right.
actually having people in the door. So down the line, I've had a lot of great, generous people offer to want to donate
Right.
for students that can't. So we're trying to figure out that program, how it's going to work and how it looks. We're still getting established. We're still hiring teachers. We're still, you know,
That's
filling
good.
it up, right? So what we'd like to do is something like that, where we pay it forward, you know.
Right.
And we've done stuff with Sam and raising money for instruments and things for kids. So if we can somehow figure that out, it's just, you know, administrative type things to support a kid or two, pay their way through. And
Right.
we can do that every year, every
Right.
semester, however it works. You know.
Are you taking donations for instruments or anything, or is there anything you need or anything you want? That
Not at the moment, but you'll be first to know once we get it set up, because I want to
Okay.
do it right. I want to do these kids
Right.
right, and I want to do it the right way.
Right.
What happened was people got excited, started giving us money, and we don't have, like, hold on a minute, because we don't, you never want to turn
It's
down
not trial
money.
and error,
no,
too.
no, no.
But I got to wait until we have a program to put it towards.
Right,
Otherwise,
right.
it's just sitting in an account
Right.
somewhere.
When
Well,
you could
that's
be
good.
making them interest.
Right.
That's
you know?
good. I mean, we could always do, you know, you could
A
always
toy
reach out,
drive for
reach
children
out
with
to,
musical.
Yeah.
You know,
reach
just
out. We could
instruments.
do. I mean, I do so many benefits.
But
you
yeah,
know, we could
you know,
definitely attach
we-
to
you know,
it.
I mean,
or
Diamond wants to do something.
Yes.
You know, and it's,
we could do
it's-
a live remote over there at
Yeah,
the school.
but they
and
do. They
that.
already said.
Yeah.
They said we
So,
want to do something like
definitely.
a scholarship type deal with
Sure.
kids. So we just have to figure out the best way to implement it. You know, we just got the doors open, so give us a little time to
Yeah.
get
Right.
rolling,
Get settled
and
in
maybe
for
this
you.
spring we'll start getting
Yeah.
into the other stuff. you know?
Definitely, but yeah, that is so cool that we want to keep. I remember as a kid, it was always the art program that was cut first.
Always,
It was
right,
always.
always.
It was always.
Yeah.
Football comes first, and I love football. Nothing wrong with that. But you can't take music out. You
visual
can't take.
performing arts
You can't
usually in
take
schools
the
is-
art
yeah.
departments out. That's just bullshit.
Sure,
So, but it's just like everybody has it in 'em.
creating, man,
You've
like,
got
that's
to have
important
music
shit.
is an international language.
Yeah, all the other
There's no
stuff's just schematics
boundaries.
to let you know.
Right.
I mean,
But I remember when my daughter went to school, she started on clarinet, and one of the problems was all the kids can get signed up for the class, and you can use the school's instruments at a rental price, But
Right.
by the time parents renting, because they know that you can come up with some money each week,
Right,
you know?
right.
I went out and bought her one, So that kind of program
Right.
would be very helpful.
No,
From
and we
someone's
sell
perspective that knows,
instruments there. We're not trying to cut into any of the local
No, you know
music
what I'm saying?
stores
There's
because
some kids that can't.
Right,
the
exactly.
Parents can maybe afford to get them to the class and drive back and forth, but they can't afford the actual instrument or something, So
Well,
it was nice to have something like that for people that can't.
Yeah, there's a
Absolutely.
lot of places that, like when my kids, I coached them and everything, and they were involved in all kinds of stuff. And I told them, when you start something, you're not going to quit. So when my
that's
daughter,
the thing,
Right.
right?
and I wouldn't let them quit. So my daughter, when she said, "Okay, Mom, I want to be in band because you were, and I'm going to be a pom pom girl because you were," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." So she wants to play flute.
No, it's
All right.
about following through.
It
you
is,
know?
and I said, now here's the thing, Jessica. When you're in the 10th grade or 11th grade and you don't want to practice, you don't want to do this. I don't give a shit. You're gonna play that damn flute. I don't care if you're in first chair or last chair. When you graduate high school, when you're 18 years old, I don't care if you throw it in the street, run over with your car,
You're gonna play
set it
a
on
Jethro
fire,
Tull
blow it
song.
up.
You're gonna play this
You
thing,
are
right?
not going to quit band.
Right.
You are in it. I have sacrificed and spent a ton of money on your shit, your uniforms, everything.
Yep.
You are staying in it. I
Right?
don't
No,
care.
these kids. I mean,
You can't let 'em
gymnastics, football, baseball,
can't let 'em quit.
hockey. Like this stuff
like a
costs a
fad, so
lot of
something
It
money.
really wanted to do,
does.
yeah.
It does. And I coached all of them. My boys, I coached them. My oldest son in ice hockey. I coached both my boys in football. I was there. I was that mom in
Right.
all the sports. Wouldn't let them quit. But my sons were always bitching. You're harder on us in football than you are everybody else because you're my kid, and I don't want to hear it. Get your ass out there.
Someone's telling their mom the
So-
same damn stuff somewhere else.
Wah, wah, wah.
Right.
But my youngest son, who did the most whining, he had a full ride scholarship to Ole Miss.
And now he's probably completely thank you.
No, he's not. You know what he did? Number one, I can't stand Ole Miss. I'm a University of Tennessee. I love University of Tennessee. I'm a volunteer fan, but that's okay.
He followed through.
He started school and then decided he wanted to go in the military. Oh. So he went into the Army. He did 6 years and 8 months. I can't get mad about that
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say
that's
he-
what he wanted to do. And I said, "You're killing
And
me."
he followed the
Saul."
other part all the way through for you. All
Well,
the way
then
to
I said,
the
"You're not
school you
gonna."
don't like.
He calls me from the recruiting station. He said, "Mama, I need you to tell him where you were born." So I started speaking French, and he's like, "Mom, don't do this to me." I said, "You're not going anywhere. You're grounded. You're not going. No, you don't
You
need a
gotta stay in
gun.
your barracks."
You don't need a gun. You're accident prone like me. You're gonna shoot your eye out. You're gonna shoot your foot off. Some stupid crap. No, 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 Mama, I want to go. My
Mom,
dad-
they train us with our weapons.
He was deployed like 4 times, and I was a nervous wreck every single time. But
I bet.
So after 3 years of Mom, I went out. I said, "Oh fuck no, hell no, you're staying in.
Ole
You're
Miss
not
ain't waiting
getting
on
out. No, you're not getting out." He stayed in for 6 years, 8 months, and he ended up being a helicopter mechanic.
Awesome.
He wanted to be. He wanted to do something else, but he really liked working on helicopters. I said,
That's good to
"Cool."
know. So when we get our helicopter for the band, we know we've got a mechanic.
You
Yeah.
got right.
So
You
we can
gotta
give
do
a
it.
call.
But yeah, I mean, he did what he says, "Mom, I'm just kind of done." He said, "I did everything I possibly could." He says, "I stayed in. I wasn't gonna quit because you never let me quit
You know what,
anything."
No,
They said
quitting,
it.
man. There ain't no
No.
quitting.
But
Sounds
you
like
know,
he's
Honor what you do. Honor what you say.
Yeah.
Say what you're gonna do. Do what you're
Good
gonna
is
say.
good though. That says something about you
Exactly.
being a good
That's
mom.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I mean,
important.
as much as you bitched about me not being there when I had to work that extra shift or whatever,
He's
guess
thanking you
what?
now.
You can, do your thing. So it's all good.
And they don't realize till they're older, just like we did. I look back at things I was mad at Dad about now. I'm like,
Right.
Right.
You know?
Right. All the time,
Exactly.
Smack
man.
yourself in the back
Pops
of the head.
knows, man. Pops knows
Like your dad
best.
telling you, these drums don't work out. You need something to come up with
Right.
gas for that motherfucking car.
Right?
You
No,
know?
Pops knows. You don't want to hear
Yeah,
that
they
shit
done
when you're a
been
kid,
there,
but
man.
they
They
know.
done been there.
Exactly.
And then when you became a grown up, you hear them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
My
yeah.
daddy used to say,
And it kind of makes
"Stop
you
the-
happy
stop-
mad.
Stop the stupid stuff. Don't do rework. Do it right the first time.
Right,
time. Do it right the first
Do
time.
it right the first. No,
Don't
it was
dick
no.
around.
It was do
Just
right
do
the
it
first
first
time.
time.
Don't do it again.
Exactly.
You know what?
Exactly.
Yeah, they both apply.
Don't pick it up, put it away. You know what I mean?
Exactly. and I hear that too. It's like,
Do it right, you won't have to do it again. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah, because then the do-overs lead to do-overs. lead to do-overs.
and he was a guitar, but he was a luthier, and he made guitars. And I tell this story all the time. So Chuck Berry used to come over to our house. Ingrid and I have been friends since we were
Right.
5, and he made a guitar for Chuck Berry. And they used to jam
That's
in the
awesome.
basement.
That's awesome.
I had no idea who this man was because he
Right, he was just a dude coming over.
just a
right.
guy, another guy coming over because my dad's making a guitar for him.
Who
And
thought it?
oh, great, he's bringing Ingrid, so we're playing in the yard. Here he is on the Ed Sullivan Show a few years later,
Right.
like, hey, Dad, that's that guy. And my dad's like, my dad was very soft-spoken. He was what, E.F. Hutton,
Right.
He's like, I didn't really care for that man. And I said,
Oh, wow.
and I didn't realize till later on in life why he
Why?
didn't really care
Right.
for Chuck. But that evolved into something different. But that was all. He was never anybody who was a judgmental guy. He
No,
was
right,
just
no.
all about.
It's the old
He
school,
was
man.
just.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And my God, he could smoke cigarettes like nobody's business. Play guitar. I mean, we jammed every night. At the
That's
kitchen
great.
table.
What great
Oh, yeah.
memories. That's
He
good.
was freaking awesome. But yeah, I still hear it. He taught me to
Always.
work
We
on-
always hear our parents. You know
We
what I mean?
do.
Good and bad.
And he smoked Salem's.
Oh, my dad smoked Salem's.
Always had a
My mom
freaking
smoked
Zippo. I still have a Zippo. I could smell that freaking butane.
So I hustled. So I would he would smoke and put them out, and I would take the half smoked ones and sell them to the delinquents in the neighborhood. I was making money when I was 5 and 6. You know what I mean?
Everybody had hustle.
I didn't smoke. I didn't care.
Right.
But I was like, oh, that's a good one. I'd collect them up and sell them to the kids
Right.
that wanted
Did he
cigarettes.
drink Bush beer too? My
Yep.
dad drank Bush beer. That
Not a
was
lot.
what-
My
that
dad
was-
wasn't a big drinker at all, though. But he smoked 3
yeah,
packs
it
a day,
was-
2 packs a day.
Yeah, but they didn't die from it.
No, right?
Yeah,
My
our
dad could
generation's
smoke.
getting that
He had
cancer,
one
but
in his
yeah.
mouth and he'd be talking. I'm like, oh my
George
God,
Burns
that
and
thing's gonna
shit.
drop
No,
me.
man, it would stick to their lip.
Yes.
Remember
It
that?
was part of
How
It
the.
was like
do they
it
did
would
it?
stick
Never
to their
would
upper
drop.
lip and never fall
It
out.
that ash
Didn't
never
flip the
fell.
ashes.
Right,
So they
nothing.
flipped the ashes.
Right.
It was that. I still hear it in
That
my
shit,
mind.
it shouldn't be like this long, hanging on his
Right.
lip, his top lip.
And they'd have a complete conversation with each other.
When you hustle with them
Cigarettes.
Cubans,
Right.
the Cuban
amazing,
cigars
the
probably
shit
went for a
they
good
did.
one.
Right.
I mean, it was just amazing, and there's so many things that your olfactory senses are the most
Oh,
Oh,
key to
yeah.
your memory.
smells
Yeah.
the
And
strongest.
You can
Old
see
Spice.
something and
Old-
smell it.
Yep,
you know,
yep,
if you
right.
get it so deep
Old
in your head.
Spice.
Yeah,
Old Spice.
the one Avon
I-
bottles that Dad had of the
Oh
white
my
car,
God.
little
Right.
Cadillacs and the
Right.
Bulldogs and
Brill cream.
Yeah, the hair stuff.
Yeah, there's certain
Grecian,
things-
Yeah.
Grecian,
certain
whatever.
things
it's
that,
Kid
yeah,
stuff.
just
Yeah.
that era.
That's great.
Talking
man.
about the
Oh, I
hustle, you
know.
probably remember Concert Don, the original ticket scalper
Yeah,
dude.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying something on my Facebook page about him the other day. Somebody was talking about tickets. I said, "Who's all bought a ticket from this guy?" I found a whole picture of me and Don.
Oh, that's awesome. You
'Cause,
got
uh,
everything. You're
yeah.
like a walking, you know.
He does. He drags his whole friggin' case around with him.
Right.
Well, I am a case, okay.
You are a case. Yes, you
So,
are. For
so I
sure.
come out of I bought my first front row Kiss ticket from him in '79, and my mom was at the old Arena Bowl in the '56 Chevy. Like,
Ah,
I'm not leaving you down here by yourself. You look like you done some drugs. I'm like, I got front row for Kiss. You know?
right, that's what I'm freaking.
Yeah,
right.
so I went in there, man. Then I remember years later coming out of a Journey show, and Don's laying over there by the ticket thing, and I'm like, "You need a ride or something, dude?" You know? And no. I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "How you think I get these front row seats?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "They go on sale. Here's the ticket booth." I go, "I'll be back in an hour." My ticket scalping was my hustle, man, because I'm like, I ain't buying one for you ever again.
Right,
I
I'll
was
just get it
number
myself.
two.
Right,
I was number
right.
2 in
There
line.
you go, right.
I went and got a cooler. I was retired in my mind. Took computers came along, man. And then they do the line ticket thing. That make you more money because we go down there and get 2 line tickets, go out, put a hat and glasses on, get 2 line tickets.
Right,
I'll take a
exactly.
car load of my
Yep.
brother's kids' friends
That's
over,
awesome.
and have 20 soldiers running to get line tickets. I got number 13 through 42.
Right.
You know, by the time Saturday comes, there's 5,000 line tickets. You
Right.
sell the line tickets and
Right,
make money to get more
right.
tickets.
So, what was
That's
your
great.
first concert, Frankie? How old were you?
I don't remember.
Mine was Bob Seger opening up for Kiss in '76.
Was it a super jam? Was it an individual?
You don't remember your
I
first
don't
show, dude?
remember,
Really?
man.
Oh, you
Oh,
had the music
come
around you,
on.
though. You had the
Right.
family.
Yeah, but I mean,
so,
he was always
you know, I
playing.
just seeing my dad play was like in a
with the
club or
story,
something
yeah.
was cool.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you don't remember going to your first, like having your first
concert
the Checkerdome
with your
ticket
buddies.
with the band's name printed on it.
You had the
right
it was either Checkerdome or Kiel Auditorium.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the convention
Busch
center.
Stadium.
I
or
mean,
Busch
I
Stadium.
saw all of them, so I don't
Name
know
one
what
you
the first one.
remember, like being an early show.
Oh, I mean,
Van Halen.
Halen, of course. Diver Down tour.
Right.
There was Journey, Bryan Adams, and somebody else.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Loverboy, maybe.
I carried
Right?
Ryan Adams'
But
equipment in for that show.
Yeah, yeah,
Out in the back, I
right.
helped him carry his stuff in.
Yeah, right.
But
so,
I mean, when we went to concerts.
I mean, one of the best ones I ever saw was Prince "Purple Rain" in '84.
Man, I didn't see
He
that.
Really?
sang "Purple Rain" for 20 minutes,
Yes.
25 minutes.
Was it killer
It was
show?
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
I
was
wish
84.
I never got to see Prince,
That's
man.
amazing. But you know, remember concerts? We went in and we sat down, and joints were running up and down the aisles.
Frisbees,
And then
beach balls.
You spent that,
Frisbees,
you
beach
spent
balls.
that $5 on that black stinky shirt
Yeah.
to wear to school the next day.
Yeah.
Or get the
and
one
you
outside.
had your ticket
Yeah.
stub to show you were at the concert.
yeah.
But that paint smell, I'll never
And
forget
the
that.
glitter all
How
over
many-
them
how-
t-shirts would just be all over
Yeah, the
house.
shirts literally smell like paint. 'cause that's
Yes.
what they were.
How many
Especially the
stabs?
scalp shirts outside.
Yes.
The lady
Right,
in the
the
wheelchair
fake
with the
ones.
hanger in the,
The
light.
fake
Yeah.
ones, right.
Them were only, what, $10 instead of 25.
That shit would wash off when you got it all.
And they had the ones with the
Yes.
white sleeves that came out with the jerseys with the white
Yeah.
sleeves. I still got a bunch of them old shirts.
Oh, I
got
bet
an
you
Us
do.
Festival shirt that I don't wear.
Stacks of
83.
shirts. How
It's
long-
amazing.
So vivid, the colors, man.
Yeah. How long did you drag those shirts around? Did you keep them?
I still got some.
No, I mean I've got so I found I was moving some stuff and I found a lot of old club stuff. So I found this,
Right.
found like all the broken toys.
Granny's
one
Is that
of them.
Granny's
Oh,
rocker?
really?
Granny's,
That's
no,
very
yeah,
cool.
Granny's rocker, man.
That's
cool.
very
Yeah,
cool.
Old school.
Very
But I,
old school.
you know, stages. There's
That's
all
what
of our merch
that
I
last
found.
time
You
Guns
know.
N' Roses was here.
Eyes. I think I
Richie
found an
hooked them all
eyes
up.
shirt or
You
something.
found eye shirts?
Yeah,
Shut up! Oh
Really?
my god! You know, there was a band that I always thought would come back out of retirement. I think there's only one or two guys still alive. The Sheiks.
The
Do you remember-
Sheiks, St. Louis
Holy
Sheiks.
shit.
They were a big one, and we
that
were
was a
kids
big. That
coming
was a
up.
big one. I mean, they were freaking phenomenal. You know, and just of course Steve and their Urge. You know, they're just always badass, no matter what. I just love seeing those guys. I told him, I said, one of these days we're gonna have to measure. How would we measure how high he can really jump? I said, we need to put him and Anthony.
Olympics.
We need to put him and Tony and Gracie together and see, because they both, you know, they're woo out there. Who can jump the highest? That would be funny, wouldn't it? You've seen Tony's show, haven't you?
Absolutely.
You know.
I mean, I know it. I don't ever get to see anybody play.
But I mean,
I'm always
he's
playing.
Too busy
right, because you're always
going
playing. I know. But I mean, he does.
I'm always somewhere, man.
He does a Journey Van Halen.
Oh,
thing,
yeah, no,
and
he kills.
And he's like, I mean, he does the splits in the air and the
Yeah.
whole. I mean, he's totally,
His Kansas thing sounds great,
Oh,
actually.
I
No, he's great.
know. He is. He's got a great voice, for sure. So, but yeah, yours is still amazing. I mean, after all these years.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you do anything special? Do you do the honey thing?
Not a
or-
thing, never a thing. We used to laugh back in the day. We're like, you warm up? No, I'm drinking milk and eating pizza. Right? Sure, I do on stage.
Never done chicken noodle soup in a
I don't do
minute.
shit.
That
you
is
know?
so
I
funny.
drink tequila, man.
Right. Well, you know.
But I
you know-
also don't sing stuff I can't sing, which goes back to my other thing. Don't
Stay
let
in my
people see what you
range.
can't do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you need
I don't
tears,
write
I'll-
songs that are out of my range, so I sound good once in the studio and can't do it live. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
You just
exactly.
sing how you sing, and you pretty much can do it forever. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
Definitely. But I mean, but every song you sing, you put your spin on it, and it's a new song. It really is.
Yeah,
a
I
new
don't try to
song.
sound like the original person because
Which is
what's the point of
great
that?
because-
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
I'm not a
the point.
mimic. I'm not a
No.
Right.
tribute person. I'm just
No.
playing these songs how I like to do them.
But
That's
you
awesome.
bring a different life to them. You bring them back to life, so to speak, because it just is a better song. You make it a better song.
I mean, that's what we try to do. You know,
I
when
mean,
we're sitting there like,
honestly.
okay, I think we can do this justice, or we can pull our own version of it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But and
It's
you're-
worked so far.
And you have the best female singers. Where do you find these women? You're growing them in your backyard.
He's doing the Prince thing.
I've
doing the Prince thing.
I've
you
had a
have
good
been
run.
very lucky with your female singers, and they're
You know, I
total
also have to
pros.
find them.
They are.
They don't just. they
I'm
just
telling you,
show
the
up.
school of rock
I think
thing.
you're
He's
grow-
gonna have a-
I
he's
think you're
breathing.
growing
He's
them.
gonna have the
I
punch
think
where he's
he's
gonna have his
growing
own.
He's growing 'em.
Everybody, man. We
He's
don't
growing
play
'em.
with slouches. Everybody in that
I
band.
mean,
You heard what he
is
said
always
earlier.
a
He goes,
killer
I'll
diller,
sing
man.
with all you guys.
No, but I mean seriously. I mean, it's just like you have.
No, they're
always
amazing.
Had,
Everybody on that stage is amazing.
I mean,
you know
the
what I mean?
range.
Yeah, but the knack
range
of
is
finding the
just-
right people, and
And they
you're-
stay for a
you're
long
like a
time.
college scout for
You
football,
know,
you
they
know?
stay a long
They
time,
do.
and that says a lot.
I
You
mean,
know what I
you're
mean?
talking-
That's
I
when
was
you're
talking
surrounded by good.
We don't have
good times with
turnover.
good people.
Once you're in for
Right.
life, or until you
Right.
you absolutely can't do it anymore. Then we get somebody else just as kick ass. You know.
No. So, do your siblings? How many are there?
I have 2 sisters and a brother.
Do they sing, play, or do anything? Or are they just like a side? It's just like a side thing. With them,
My
or-
younger sister and older brother play and perform and sing and write and stuff, and my older sister does not. But she's kind of in broadcast and TV stuff. So.
But you're all still. So
All
you're all
yeah.
still in the business somehow.
Yeah.
What about doing a family thing? Would that be is that too much? Is that too
Yeah, we're
much?
spaced out. We're all over
Is
the
that
place.
too much?
So, yeah.
Is that too much? But I mean, yeah, I bet that's fun. I mean, I bet your family get-togethers were just a blast. I mean, as far as
Yeah, I mean, it was always a show. You know, it was putting on a show kind of thing.
yeah, and your daddy was the
Which is what he
ringleader.
thought. Yeah, and then I became the.
Carry the torch.
So, what band? What band? He was in bands. He was in one band, or was in several, or
Few, you know, he did stuff. They were like Latin jazz type, and then he was in a salsa band, and over the years.
Oh,
Yeah. So
wow,
it was
that is
very heavy
amazing.
rhythmic.
That
we grew up
is-
in a very rhythmic household. You know
That-
what I
Yeah,
mean?
that
But that
explains
is-
a lot about your show too.
Yeah.
no,
you
that's
know?
that's a very that's very intricate music. I mean,
Yeah,
you
we
really
all have that
it's not
internal
just-
clock
Right.
that's just born into us. You know
That
what I
is
mean?
awesome. That is
And
very cool.
yeah, I was
That's
exposed
music
to a
with
lot of
metronome.
variety of music before I discovered the rock and roll that my brother was listening to, or the disco that my sister was listening to.
Right.
Before that, I had 8 years of life listening to jazz and Latin music. And,
Expose a lot of
yeah,
different
Herbie
stuff.
Hancock and Cal Jader and all that stuff.
That's a
you
lot
know
of
what I
different
mean?
avenues.
No, it was great.
Yeah.
I get Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Zeppelin from my brother.
Emerson, Lake,
I
Palmer
get
works.
I get Elton
Yeah, feeding on all of
John,
it.
Right.
Elton John and Bee Gees from my sister,
Yeah, feeding
and I
on
get Cal Jader and Herbie Hancock and Charlie Parker from my dad.
That's awesome.
And then I figured out, Van Halen blew my mind. I was 13, 14, riding down. I can tell you the day it happened. I was riding on my bike.
I always remember
I had a
this.
You were
BMX
riding on your
bike.
bicycle.
BMX bike with the
Mongoose,
radio.
cover.
Mongoose. I had black tough
Black
wheels.
tough rims.
Mongoose
Shut up.
frame. Gold pedals. Gold.
I can see the
Oh,
goal.
dude. No, I'm serious. I remember this shit. And I rebuilt that bike about 9-10 years ago. I rebuilt the bike I
Really?
had when I was a kid.
I
yeah.
still got Astor Bueller.
So
dude.
I'm
That's
riding
wild.
down. I'm
Are
riding
you
down my
still
street.
riding it?
I've got the radio taped to the handlebars.
Yes.
And they played "You Really Got Me," and I was like, "What the hell?"
Started
is
pedaling
this?
faster and
I'm
everything.
like, "What the hell is this?" It blew my mind.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. That was it.
That's
You know what I
awesome.
mean?
Wow, that's wild.
Done.
Cool.
Well,
Remember a
you know?
defining moment.
Oh yeah. Then the other freaky thing is I sold. My brother was selling. He had chrome Slingerland concert toms, and I wanted to buy them. And I wanted this bike so bad, and I got this bike for Christmas or whatever it was, and I sold the bike to a kid down the street to buy those concert toms.
Right.
Basically, like kind of, here's my childhood. Take it. I'm in.
But
Right.
that's
And
what
I bought
inspired
those
you to want
drums,
the drums was that radio
And
on the bike.
and I went
Right,
on ever
right.
since.
Do you
know what I mean?
still play?
Yeah.
Do
I'll record or I'll play for fun or just
Really?
He plays
I'm
everything, man.
impressed. I'm impressed. Is that the only instrument you play?
I play keyboards. That's how we usually write on keys.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah.
That's awesome.
How
I'm
are you
glad
trying to
hear
get Dirty King to get that one note?
Yeah, you got to at least
Mickey,
know
Mickey.
when you're talking.
that. No, all you do is
especially when you're.
just throw it at him and say, pick one.
Well, but, I mean, when you're producing bands or
Yes.
you're running a band, you have to know
Right.
how to communicate. My dad told me that when I was a kid.
Yes.
Like learn keyboards, so at least when you can communicate with any instrument if you can
Yes.
play keyboards.
Yes.
You had that little Partridge Family orange one right
Yeah, I had
there.
that little
Yeah,
Wurlitzer,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that was
you
cool.
know, they hot rodded
Yeah.
that up for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Right
got
on
this
hand.
like candy orange old Wurlitzer, like
thing is
1968
very cool.
Right.
Wurlitzer.
Very cool.
And that's in the studio. So, when you need to play a chord or find a harmony or, hey, play this note, you can communicate. So he always
Right.
taught me, like, learn some keyboards so you know how to communicate to the musicians. They'll have respect for you.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
that was his big thing. Like, you know what I mean? You're more than just a singer. Like, you're a musician. Let people see. But, I never do let people see because I'm an entertainer and I have the thing that I do. But behind the scenes, people who know. And
Well,
but
I mean-
I'm not worried about. I don't care if people know what I can do
Right.
or what I can't do.
Just
Right,
let them see what you can do.
you know what I'm saying? Right.
Exactly.
But yeah, so
Well, I mean, that just helps as far as your understanding of everything. Like,
absolutely.
Well, my dad.
You have to understand harmony and
You
how it
do.
works and
You-
chords
you
and where the
really
notes
do.
are.
The
And,
whole realm of
you know,
it,
that's how you can communicate to musicians,
Right.
right? Tell them what to play. You know, I'm not just somebody who stands there and sings. I can tell people what to play and how to play it.
Right.
You know, it's a different, you know?
Yeah.
So my dad made guitars, and there's 6 of us. I'm the oldest. There's 3, and then there's a 9-year gap, and then there's 3 more. So my dad made all 3 of us, the oldest, all of us guitars. And since my dad worked nights at GM, he could not be there with us during the day to give us lessons. Guess who we took lessons from? Laura Weber on Channel 9. Do you remember her?
I don't remember
Frankie,
that
do you
name.
remember her?
Yeah.
Laura Weber.
Laura Weber.
Yeah.
And then, so I was 10 years old, and we got to go downtown to Channel 4 because she had a live, and all of her students got to go in there and sit there and play that
That's
stupid
awesome.
song, Little Boxes, Little Boxes. I was like, oh my God, I hate this fucking song. But yeah, isn't that hilarious?
So
But
that was
then-
your first TV debut?
That was my first TV debut, and then I learned to play piano because my dad said the same thing that his dad did about, you have to learn keys, and
Right.
this is just the way it is. So, I mean, you just have to learn the basics to actually know what's going on. But he turned me on to, he loved Steppenwolf.
Oh, yeah.
He loved Herb Albert of the Tijuana Brass. You know whipped cream? That
Herb
shit?
also,
Herb
no,
Albert of the Tijuana Brass.
no.
You know the whipped cream?
it's with a P. Her Albert. Alpert.
Perch.
Herb
I never knew
Albert.
this.
What a
Yes.
P.
Like all my life. I found it out
Herb
today.
Albert.
I knew that.
Today years old.
No
it's
way.
Alpert.
Alpert.
Not
You
Albert.
just found out today.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I mean.
Well, the lady in the
Alpert.
whipped cream
Herb
dress,
Alpert.
She just
That's
turned, what, 67 years old? She just turned 67. She's still alive.
No shit.
Yes. And I'm sure her boobs still look great with that whipped cream on.
See, now you should have her on your show. You
No,
know?
she doesn't live here. Yeah, but anyway. So, yeah, I mean, he was one extreme to the other. He loved Steppenwolf. He loved, the first song he taught me was Three Dog Night. Jeremiah was Bullfrog. He was just all over the map, but he listened to so many different kinds of music, and then he discovered Keishi, 1967.
Oh yeah.
And I said, what? But I was a little kid. He said, you were such an old soul. I would have let you go to Woodstock, but your mother wouldn't let you. But yeah, I was 6, I think. when
I love the
Woodstock
memories, man. That's awesome.
I mean, it was just great, but he was all about music. I mean, it was 100% music, but then he was also very methodical and, like we talked about.
Right.
Stop the stupid shit. Do it right the first
Do it
time.
right.
Take your
Right.
time.
No do-overs.
Don't
Do it right,
yeah,
don't do it
yeah.
again. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
fuck
Do it
that
right, you won't
noise.
have to do it again.
Right, exactly.
Pick
And
it up,
he-
don't put it away. Pick it up, don't, what is it? Don't
Pick
pick
it
it up.
up.
Don't pick it
Don't
up,
pick
put
it
it
up.
away.
Put it away, yes. And if you borrow my tools, put them back where
Right.
you got them.
And treat, as far as
Do it right,
instruments.
don't do it over. That's
Right,
what you said.
that's what it was. And
Yes.
as far as instruments, he's like, take care of them and they'll take care of you.
Yes.
You don't take care of your shit and it's gonna fall
Yeah.
apart, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why motorcycles, that's how I do.
Right.
Safety first, man. You better keep everything tightened up. And
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
get a lot
I mean,
further
Right.
down the road.
Oh, he was big on that one because he was also he was a
Oh,
broadcaster, so he was behind the scenes. So
Right.
he was like, "Look, man, treat people right on the way up because you're going to see them on the way down."
Yeah.
Exactly.
There was no
Don't throw your shoulder
guarantee
into the
that
hand
you
that
are going to
blocks
be
the
down,
key, yeah.
and you're going to be up,
Right.
and you're going to be down.
Right.
So treat people right on the way up because you are going to
Exactly.
see them on the way down,
You
and
throw
they'll
your shoulder in the
remember
hand,
that
you got to
shit.
shake later.
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
And don't lie because it's easier to remember the truth.
That just leads
Right.
to more. It
I-
just leads to
no
more.
So
shit.
true,
and, you
man.
know, and he's like, but he was more reserved, where I have no filter.
Right.
So because of his inspiring words, he's like, sometimes you just got to shut your damn mouth. You don't have to say what's on your mind every time. I'm like, but Dad, you
That's
said.
true.
But sometimes it's just like you just want to, shut somebody down because they're just being assholes,
Right.
But he's like, it'll come back to them, trust me. But that was before karma was a big word.
Yeah.
He would just say, it will
The
come
realm
back
works
to them.
itself out.
What you throw out in the universe, it will come
That's
back.
right.
Yep.
And the good stuff will, and the bad stuff will come back threefold if you're a bad person. So he was just really, really smart guy. And then the other side is, we have a Mother Teresa. Stop trying to save everybody.
Right.
You can't fix stupid, And then it was, God, he died way too young. He was 59 when he died.
Oh wow, that is young.
Way young. That's another story for another time, but not on the air.
Right.
But it was just one of those things. I think that it's just I just think
Part of
about
life.
him all the time.
Life's a trip sometimes.
It is.
All
but
the time.
He's
All the time, man. And we
Yep.
think about them, and they're with us. And that's the great thing.
It is.
You know what I mean?
So I always think that when something good's happening, or I think about, something's happening in my life, I just think about what he would say or what he would do. and it's
Absolutely.
Right there.
Right,
It's
where would that part? Yeah.
It makes everything easier.
Absolutely.
It has nothing to do with anything else, but he was the only sounding real person that was like, give me the straight shit.
Right.
And,
No
but he
sugarcoating.
was never an asshole. You know?
That was my dad's. This is great, and this literally is the advice of life. Don't be an asshole.
Exactly.
That was it. Simple.
Stop the
Yeah.
stupid stuff.
simple.
I mean,
Slim.
The rest kind of works
Slim.
itself out.
He called me Slim. Slim. Don't be an asshole, son. And that's it.
Right.
Like you remember that, you're like, wow, okay.
It's not that
you're raising a
hard.
kid. Just don't be an asshole.
Right.
Don't put another
Exactly.
asshole out here in the world. You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
My name.
exactly.
Right. You know.
Yeah, but it took a long time to, when you're a kid, you're kind of hot-headed, and you're like, okay.
Oh,
what do
we
you
know
say?
everything
Yeah,
until
we
we
don't-
realize we
Oh,
don't
we
know
don't
Like I
shit.
just said
You know
earlier,
what I
so
mean?
Later on, it kicks you right in the ass.
It kicks you always.
That's
It
what he
kicks
was
you in the
talking
ass.
about.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how cocky you are, however
What a-
you
what you-
are,
yeah.
but when you walk into Dad's house, it's like, oh.
Oh no, Pops told
It's
me this
like,
shit early
oh,
on. So we're on MTV.
everything
Things
was
are going
good.
well. And he's like,
Don't let that ego get you.
no, he'd say, I'm proud of you, son. And I think it's awesome everything you're doing. But when
Right.
you come into my house, you're still my son.
Right.
You'll still
Exactly.
respect your mother.
Yep.
And if I tell you to take out the trash, you can take out the goddamn trash.
Right.
Oh, you got it, sir. You know what I mean?
But the thing is that
Never thought that was gonna change, Dad.
right. But what was so
Don't want no foot in my ass this late in the game.
Right.
but what was
And that foot will be up your ass no matter how old you are,
Right,
right?
yeah, that's what he's
Exactly.
saying. My size 12 still 12.
yeah.
I don't care how old you are.
My boys are both taller than me. One's 6'4", the other's like 6'3". I'm like, I made you, I can break you. I don't give a
Right.
That's right, right.
say.
That's right.
But it was just like, it was understood. When I walked back into my parents' house, my dad was just like, I was like, whatever you want, Dad. I'm good. You don't have to tell me anything. I'm right here.
And but,
And
you
it
know,
was just like-
don't get us wrong. It's not about fear. It's about
No,
respect.
Respect,
It's just
yeah.
It's about respect.
They might be putting
You
the
know
fear
what I mean?
down on you at the same time they're teaching
Sure,
you
but
respect,
it's
they're
respect.
teaching you to take that with you.
It's
Yeah.
respect, man.
Yeah.
You know?
But it was so easy because it was like, that was your home. And
Yeah.
my dad was home, and my dad was the shit. My dad was a bomb, and it was like, it didn't matter. I knew if I fucked up or screwed up or anything, he's still my dad. And
Yep.
he was
I mean, that's
still-
the reason
and
I ended
it
up
would
staying in
be
St.
After I
Louis.
removed my foot from my ass,
Right.
it was Dad that did it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
But he had a right. He had a right to, because I would understand that. That would be fine.
Yep.
But I mean, it was just one of those things. I miss that.
Yeah.
You don't have that to go back to.
No.
So.
When they're gone, they're gone. But the memories are there, and the things they taught us, the things they put in us are there. And that stays
That
forever.
don't go
You know
away
what I
if you
mean?
pay attention.
It doesn't.
If you
It
pay-
doesn't.
Pay
You know what I
attention to them
mean?
and
It doesn't.
know.
Here's to the pops and the moms
Yes,
out
yes,
there,
yes.
man.
Moms, yes. All the good influences in our
That's
lives.
right, man.
Yeah, because they totally offset the shitheads.
All right, what else you got?
So,
We're
okay.
running out of time, baby.
Let's play
We
some
are-
music.
We are running out of time. We're going to play some music at the end. So, okay, you've got the Prince show, and then what's going on? What are we doing different in next year? Are you going to release some of this great killer badass music?
Yeah, so I've got a little time off in January. I'm going to finish some vocals and do some mixing. And when I was in Vegas, I don't know, when was I in Vegas? I was in Vegas in October. And
Do you still have a regular gig there that you have? Do you have a contract with them? You have to
no,
keep
not,
going
not
back,
anymore.
or
That was a while back. But we
Okay.
go out there for corporate events a lot.
right?
And a photographer friend of mine's out there, and he's like, Frankie, come and, he's a Swiss guy, and he's like, you have to come and shoot in the desert. And I was like, man, you got to get up at like 5 a.m. before the sun comes up.
Right.
And we've been drinking and kicking it, after our show.
The
the night-
sun's coming up.
Yeah.
Right.
He hadn't even been to bed yet.
So I go out there. I don't want to go out there.
Right.
It's cold.
I go out there, but
But so
don't
we're in
wanna
a
be
dry river or lake bed.
Right.
And it was the most amazing thing. And he had this drone footage. So I shot a footage for a song that I'm not going to tell you yet, but you'll
Right.
see it when it's done.
Okay.
And it's amazing footage. I mean, sun coming up over the mountains. It was unbelievable. So I'm glad I did it for real.
Very
We've got
cool.
that in the can. So I'm just going to finish some stuff up,
Very cool.
So
So did you think when you were a kid and you started off with, your badass bands, and you had all these dreams and aspirations, as far as you know, you've come very far and have done a lot of things. And have you done everything you wanted to do and wanted to accomplish, or is there still? I mean, you're still
Oh, yes, I
evolving.
still got the
you're
fire.
still evolving,
Still got
doing.
the
You know,
fire.
you're doing blues.
We
you're doing a little
wouldn't do it if
country.
we didn't have the fire.
a certain
So,
place or something.
is there anything out there besides just evolving and you know, making yourself more well-rounded as far as doing different things? Is there anything out there that you have not yet got to do that you really, really want to do that you want to talk about?
I mean, I've lived an amazing life.
You
know what I mean?
have.
I've traveled all over the world. I've seen a lot of awesome things. I've done a lot of awesome things.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very blessed and fortunate to live a life of adventure because of music.
And you
You
still
know?
get to do it. So you're doing country, you're doing blues.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I mean,
you know, we're gonna work on this new stuff, and we're gonna get it
Mm-hmm.
out and see what happens, and keep jamming away like we do. You know what I mean? So it's just a continuation, I think. You know what I mean?
How much vinyl do you? How many vinyls do you have?
Not that many. I mean, maybe 50, maybe 75, maybe 100. I don't
And
know,
we
but,
can find all that
love
everywhere.
vinyl,
It's
you know.
all out
Yeah.
there.
It's all
It's the
good, you
best
know.
sound. Vinyl
Yeah,
has
yeah.
always been the best sound. I mean, it was to
And
me.
it's
it
and
was.
it
Nothing's
brings us
stolen.
back.
It-
You know what I
it
mean?
is. I
Even
mean-
if it's shitty sounding, it brings you back to when you were a kid.
It's
You know, right? You hear that
Put the
scratching.
pennies on the needle so
exactly,
it stays
totally,
there and
right,
don't
right.
jump.
It doesn't matter. We got vinyl, and I was like it was on my stereo. I got my
I
headphones
got one of the
on,
coolest things I
crank,
take with me everywhere I go on
and
the
you
road.
listen to every song.
And I bought a little mini road case for it.
Yeah.
It's the size of probably half of a shoebox,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it flips up, and it's from like the '60s, like late '60s, and it's called an Emerson. I can't remember the name of it, but
It puts 45s.
it plays albums.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So the album is bigger than this record
Yeah.
player,
Right,
right?
right.
And it's
Yeah.
gold, and it has little legs that fold out.
Yeah.
I get in my hotel room,
Right.
and I put it on. I got this cool
Right.
alligator record suitcase thing,
Right.
you know,
Right,
and
right.
it holds about 10, 12
Wow.
records,
Right,
albums.
right.
Cool.
So I bring that with me, and I bring this little record player, and I pop it open, and I can hear it
You just
anywhere.
lay
in
it
there.
on there and
Yeah, you lay it on there, and it just
Wow.
spins around.
I've got one of those Emersons, but it's about as big as a small TV, and the
Yeah.
record's too big for the box, so there's a hole in the back, and you slide in and
yeah,
drop it
that's
down.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
But it's got
awesome.
everything but an 8-track on. It's got a CD.
Mine does too.
Oh,
Mine's
yeah.
got that.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's got all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
this
like
little
an
thing,
old
it's
school
it's
one.
literally about this big.
Yeah.
And the
That's
record just
wild,
spins
man.
on
Like,
it.
Yes.
And the motor, it's like a little wheel that turns the record,
Like
and then
yeah.
the side of the thing, an arm pops out, and you stick it on.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So it
it's
And you
doesn't-
don't have to put a penny on it.
Yeah, that's good. No, sometimes you do.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's a
don't have to
dime
put a
or a
penny
quarter.
on it,
Table
right.
top.
Yeah, you know.
So what? First album, first record, first album. Do you remember
Jailhouse
that?
Rock. It was the 45.
Shut up! I didn't.
Yeah,
45.
45.
Okay, what was on the B side?
I don't remember.
Oh my God! But it was Elvis. It was
yeah,
Jailhouse
it was Elvis.
Rock.
I was a kid. I was a little kid.
You're
Mine
not
was
gonna.
Kiss Destroyer.
Mine was one of the Partridge Family songs because I was
That's
a
cool.
huge David Cassidy fan. I love
And then
David
I would come
Cassidy.
home after school and play Are You Experienced over and over
Yeah.
and over again. Boston. I mean, all the stuff.
All
you
the
know.
goodies.
Think about, when I'm 10, those are the
Right.
albums that were, happening.
Well, the songs that would come out, I could afford the 45s because they were like, 85 cents, 95 cents at Ben
Right.
Franklin. And the B-side was always a killer song, too. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting 2 songs for $1, blah, blah, blah. But then, I would save my money for the newest album that was coming out. And then I would learn every freaking word
That's awesome.
to every
Yeah.
song.
Oh, yeah.
And, in Casey back in the day when they first started, they were playing the deep cuts. And you could hear all the
Right,
songs.
right.
Yeah, my buddies in the
Instead
band,
of
it's called
burning out on
Flipside.
Led
And they play
Zeppelin.
the other side?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow, that's a
Yes.
great concept.
Yeah, that's all they do. They're called flip
They
side.
just play the flip,
other side.
They play
of
the
it.
other side of shit. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
An 8-track flashback does the same thing.
Yeah.
Plays all the old songs.
That's
Right,
great. I love
right.
it.
yeah.
But probably the first 8-track I ever made, when you could actually record your own 8-tracks, I was a Rush freak. When
That's
I first
awesome.
heard them, it was 1978, and I ran to school because my friends were like, okay, who's the newest music, blah, 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 because I was a freak about it. You got to hear these 3 guys. Oh my God, they're from Canada. The band's called Rush. The drummer's drums are electric and they're
You can't see
octagon
him.
shape. They're octagon shape. And I played the music and all my friends are going, they suck.
I was in a Triumph.
Did you see him on that tour?
I said, "Are you out of your mind? What do you mean they suck? You don't know what you're
No.
fucking talking about."
Shit,
Now
man.
I was a junior in high school, and my friends were telling me that this band sucks.
That's
I'm like,
funny.
I seen Rush in '78
My
on that
newest
tour. That was
tattoo.
badass.
My newest tattoo, Frankie.
Oh yeah,
I got it last.
I was here when you.
Oh, that's
did that.
amazing.
It says, and the meat's
see it.
shall inherit the earth.
That's great.
Which is a line out of a Rush song.
Right.
Because I've been a fucking Rush freak since day one.
You got that right here, what, 3 weeks ago or something like that.
Jason Brooks
Yeah.
did it right
Yeah.
here. He did this one too. He did this one in the show too.
Yeah.
And the publicity he got from doing this little tattoo right here, sitting right here.
Right.
He opened his own studio. And
Only good for him.
Yeah, I know, very cool. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's just, you know, to me, Rush, and I've had this conversation before, it's like, we need more original sound. And Rush, to me, was the last of the original sounds of bands. Boston has their sound, Rush has their sound, REO. You know, you can tell a song when you hear it AC/DC. But I
Yeah.
mean, there hasn't been any real badass, kick-ass sounds of their own, you know, besides our friends that we know here, you know, our local friends, like King of the Hill and Broken Toys, you know. But I mean, still, I mean, it's just like we need to keep that legacy going as far as trying to get the next sound and not just covering, you know, I don't know. I mean, I like Greta Van Fleet. I mean, they're okay, but I mean,
Kids just
They're-
reinterpreting like everybody does.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Everybody's been
exactly.
inspired by someone.
I,
you know?
always.
Everybody's always
influences.
inspired by someone. Who was your first inspiration as far as music besides your family?
It was my
your
father.
say
It
home,
literally,
yeah.
it was home. I mean,
It
for
was
years.
home.
You know what I mean? That was.
Was it just watching him play and
Yeah,
listening to it?
yeah.
and
I would
just
sit down. I was a little kid on the steps
Surrounded
in
by
my feety pajamas. I never forget this shit. And they would just
How
have
old
these
was-
jam
how old
nights all
were
night.
you?
Oh, I mean, 4, 5, 6. You know. And I'm supposed to be sleeping, and they'd have these big jams.
No
after,
way.
after the gigs, they'd all come back, and it was, you know, from what I understand now, it was like some heavy jazz guys that were
Right,
playing, and they'd all come down and have these, and I would just sit on the steps, and the guys are walking past me, bringing their booze and their chicks
Whoa,
and their
hey, kid.
gear,
Right.
and they're all, hey, Frankie, little Frankie, you know, and I was supposed to be sleeping, and I just snuck out and sat on the steps, was quiet, and listened.
Fly on the
That
wall.
is so. Yeah,
Fly
my
on the wall. So then I get in trouble, and I didn't have to go back to bed because I wasn't bothering anybody.
Right.
Right.
Nobody knew. I'm just sitting there listening, and I would just listen to
Taking
jam
notes.
all night, man.
Taking mental
Yeah.
notes.
I know. Yeah, my dad would get home at 3:30 in the morning, and I could hear. I
Yeah.
just knew. I was like, oh my God, it's like Christmas. He'd come up, and I'd watch him eat sardines, and I get grossed out. And I couldn't stand the little eyes.
Right.
But and then the guitar would come out, and I would just sit there, and he would just play.
I had
play,
the
and
best,
play, and play.
before I was
Oh
gigging.
my God, I just loved that. Just that
Yeah.
moment.
No, my
you
dad would
know?
gig, and he would get home at 1:30, 2 in the morning, and I'd be up, you know, watching Night Flight or whatever on TV, you know,
Right.
and we'd have the best talks in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is before I was old
That's
enough to go
cool.
out and gig,
Right.
and we just had the best time. Now I know because I'd lived my life like you wind down. You got another hour when you get home, just
Right.
chill out, take your stinky, smoky clothes off, and chill
Right.
out. You know what I mean? And we'd
One of
sit
them
there
ah
and
moments.
we'd just talk. We'd talk for hours. You know, about
he-
music, about life. You know, it
All
was
kinds
cool.
of good stuff. So did he play at some of the venues? Are they any of them still open that he played at? I mean, was it here in St.
No,
Louis?
I mean he played at the Playboy Club and played down in
Alright.
Gaslight Square and all that stuff. So, no.
Gaslight Square, you know, that's where the Allman Brothers first started. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
called the Almond Joys. Well, that's when Steve Scorfina and Michael McDonald started playing. Or
Mm-hmm.
no, they were actually had their first garage band. Stephen was like 13 and Michael was 11.
Right.
They lived next door to each other. This is before they were anybody.
Right.
And they would sneak down to the Gaslight and hang out backstage
Absolutely.
when the Almond Joys were coming in. The Allman Brothers.
Right.
But that was when they were tied with Mama's Pride.
Right.
So, but you know, it's all history, but still, it's so cool.
St. Louis history.
It is, and we have the best out of all the places you visited, and all the venues you've been to. I mean, I know you go one venue to another, but I mean, and I've said this because I've traveled all over the United States. There's no city that has the music community that we have.
Yeah, and I've
And-
seen
and
it.
we've-
You know, I
we've
was
both-
welcome into it as a kid. You know, I mean,
Right.
one of our first shows, we played a Battle of the Bands. It was like, I think the Griffin Music Battle of the Bands at Mississippi.
Shut up.
Wow.
And we
No
played it.
way.
And then from there, Hagen Sauce.
Right,
And then
right.
we got to open up for all the
Right,
bands
right,
that
right.
came in.
Right.
Because they're like, oh, these guys,
Right.
kids are good and they'll play for free and whatever.
That's good
And-
exposure.
and-
back
It was
and-
great
and-
exposure.
Yeah.
And they bring all the hot girls.
Right, and then I went from
Yeah.
opening up for, you know, these
Right.
bands that would come in. And
Right.
I mean, I remember seeing Accept at Mississippi Nights.
Me too. I was
Balls
and
to the
Sting.
wall.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, right.
and Sting.
it's so cool having your name on a marquee with someone that's you know
Right,
what I
so
mean?
we came up playing at Mississippi Nights, opening up for bands.
Yeah.
And
know what I mean?
Sting,
And then-
Sting
and this-
was down there before he was Sting.
All of them. I saw Chili
That's
Peppers.
Yeah.
fucking
Oh man,
killer.
there's a bunch of good shows.
What was your
back then.
favorite? What was your favorite band to open up for? That is like badass now. And have you talked to them since, or they probably made
No, I don't know, man. We just did it constantly. We always, that's the theme. We just constantly were working.
Our
So I
first-
never had
What was
time
so-
to like soak it up.
But what was
Right.
so and that time frame, what was so fucking great was that we had so many original bands. We loved to go see
Yeah.
original bands.
Oh, yeah.
Mississippi Nights, it wasn't, oh my God, it's original band. Nowadays, it's like there was like 2 or 3 venues that had.
No, it was
they had-
everywhere.
Yeah,
That landing,
everybody
you'd
like
go from
Porcelain
New Orleans
Blind
Nights to
Mice.
First Rock to
Yes.
to All American Saloon to
Saloon,
Kennedy's
Yes, Kennedy's.
to Mississippi Nights.
I worked
to,
at-
I mean,
I
every
worked
one
at-
of them.
I worked at the Brass
Frosty
Rail.
Factory. They were doing
Yes.
alternative music back then. You know.
Yes.
I don't remember that one.
Oh yeah, that was next to.
Kennedy's
First
was
Rock.
probably one of my favorites.
Kennedy's, yeah.
Kennedy's, oh.
So Kennedy's was like the same bands that played Kennedy's would play at Frosty Factory. So when we'd be at New Orleans Nights, which was like All American
Yeah,
Saloon,
yours was always.
we'd all switch
Yeah,
off. So the
right.
eyes would always be at Frosty Factory.
It was the same clique of
We'd
bands, though.
always
You guys
be
was all-
at First Rock, and then on breaks we'd go see each other,
Right.
or I'd go
Yeah.
sit in
Right.
with them, and
Right.
then he'd sit in with
And
us.
then Nichols
Right.
always played nickel draft night
Yeah.
at stages,
Yeah.
which was cool.
Which we
Yeah.
took over. We
Yeah,
took
yeah,
over
yeah.
Wednesday nights, and we took Sunday nights at
Yeah, I've seen you guys
Granny's.
a million times over there, man.
I mean, literally, I was playing 7 nights a week.
Definitely.
You know, 88, 89, we played 7 nights a week.
that's crazy.
Bogart South on Mondays. So it was Granny's on. We
South,
did a
that was
Granny
a blast.
Fanny thing on Sundays.
Right.
Bogart South on Mondays. Tuesday and Wednesday we'd play Real Rock. Thursdays we were at Stages. Friday, Saturday we made the rounds.
Do you
Yeah.
remember
Every week.
the little back cabana at the one out South County where the chick had the Long Island teas?
What?
Bogart South, the
Oh,
Long
Bogart
Island
South.
teas at that
Oh, I
back
played
cabana.
there on Monday.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
back cabana. That chick
Yeah.
made the best Long
I
Island
played there
teas,
every
man.
Monday night.
Yeah, the Long Island teas out there were off the chain.
And then there was a 3
And you
Tully.
could walk from
Then
the
there was
stage onto the bar.
yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
There was the 3 Tullys. Don't forget the Tullys.
You never done that, did you?
Oh, yeah. A time or two.
What are you talking about?
And the closet. It was the old closet, the broom closet. Lots of shit happened in the broom
I mean,
closet.
it was just-
Bogart South.
And Pops. Don't forget the balcony of Pops. Holy
And
shit!
Oz.
Thank
And the
you,
old
God.
Pops, the
So
log
I
cabin.
worked at the Brass Rail on the rant. On
Brass
the landing.
Rail, yeah, played
I was
there.
a bartender
That one, too.
at the Brass
We have
Rail.
flashbacks.
Right.
And then we would close at 1:30, go over to Oz, and act retarded.
We would play and then stop at 1:30 and go over to Oz and play till 5 in the morning.
No,
we
it
did
was-
2 gigs.
No, the Oz was 3:30, and then we go to Pops because 3:30.
No, we played. I mean, no, they must have later. Then they kept going.
You guys are giving
I
up
would
our
play.
age.
I
We go to-
literally would play. We would pack up. We go to the Oz and play till the sun came up.
Yes.
It was crazy.
But
we never
the-
said no to anything.
You ever go
The
to Froggy's
old
or Rocky
Oz.
Bar?
Froggies.
Oh my God.
Listen, I went over there the other day. Me and my
That's
one of my
still
club brothers. No, we got the log, the frog log that was out in front. The place burned down. The log
okay.
was still
Oh,
sitting
so you
there. We
took
grabbed it. Yeah, I got the frog log, man.
This guy's got
You know how
he's
many
like the
times I've
living
slept?
historian of St. Louis music.
We're gonna open up City Museum South at my
There
house.
you go. There you
Oh
go.
my God. But I
Yeah,
mean,
we
was
picked it up
almost-
and we was driving over there looking at, it's burned down, so the building's not even there. I go, man, look what's laid out in front of me. Back this truck up, we threw that thing in the van.
Froggy log.
Yeah, the old
Yeah.
frog log. I slept on that thing many nights, man.
But it was just, I just hate the fact that, the landing's no more and the original music it got separated because we love
Yeah, it's
going to
it's
all
so
the
different now.
all those
But there's still a
venues
scene which is cool.
to see,
St. Louis has always had a good. It really has that good music scene. It's
and we have a lot
ebbed
of
and
we have
flowed,
a-
but it's always still kind of there.
I mean, we have a huge base of musicians.
Yes.
And sometimes
Which is what a scene is. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's drama queens, there's divas, there's bullshit, but when push comes to shove, we all hang together.
Absolutely.
We all stick together. We all have each other's backs, regardless if you're fighting or not talking or whatever. We still stick together. And to me, all the cities I've been in, Chicago, New York, they don't have the music scene.
No, they're more backbiting and they're more,
Yeah.
it's weird. We have a healthy competition in this town, which is different than other cities,
What there's so many, and they're unfortunate. I mean, it's fortunate and unfortunate. Fortunate because as many bands as we could get jammed into a weekend, you're all playing.
Right. Yeah, I never get to see anybody, which is weird, but
you guys are
Right.
always playing, or they're
Yeah,
always
you're always
playing
out
on
busy
top of
then.
each other.
right, which is
That
great.
was
thing.
my problem. I was on tour with the Rolling Stones, so I don't get to see nobody.
Which is, I mean, it's awesome that everybody still gets to work with the venues that are left.
Right.
That's the thing. They're dropping like flies. You know,
I
Yeah,
bet-
the venue's getting
3,
far.
4 places to
Way
fucking
Out
play.
Club, Way Out Club just closed down recently. And
Again?
another place that was original.
Right.
Well, I
Yeah,
was
but he
telling
kept
Bob,
saying every
that
time-
was going on for
every
like 2
time
months.
he-
He said, we're having our final night.
Every time he would say
I
that.
go, Bob, this is my third final show.
my third final
I go,
show.
if you're finally closing, man, you got to keep finally closing.
Right.
It's working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. And
Yeah, I
the
go to the
whole-
same gym where him and his wife go in, and she teaches at Zumba and stuff, so I see him quite a bit. So I went up there for 3 different closings, I think.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. But we still try to help each other out. We can always call on a musician to do something. These younger musicians who come in here, and I'm like, here's what you need to do: grab some of these seasoned guys who've been around forever. Grab Frankie, George, anybody.
Yeah, the
Ask
thing
them-
about these
ask
kids,
them
and I've
to
worked with a lot of younger bands. Like,
sing on your
you
new
don't
stuff.
say no to anything.
No.
These guys don't want to work, right? They say they want to make the money that you guys do, and oh man, we want to do what you guys,
They want
and they
the
don't
goods
want to
in the
work.
gram.
They
They
don't
don't
want
put
to
the
work,
hours
man.
in.
They're
Like,
where do they become entitled?
it's like, why you say we don't say no at anything? To this day, we don't say no to anything.
Our
No.
parents
You
taught
know
us
what I
different, dude.
mean?
No.
Our parents
Never leave it on the table.
Everything's
Take
at the
it,
end of
play
the
it,
list
get in
now.
front of people. You can only build
Yeah.
this shit. If you want to have something, you can only do it one show at a time, man. You can't do it
Exactly.
one show every 6 months. You got to just get out there in front of
Right,
people,
right.
man. You know,
Exactly.
and that sucks sometimes. And sometimes it's great, but you got to just do it.
Right.
But that's how you build your fan base, and those are the people who are buying your shit and coming to your shows
Yeah.
Yep.
and loving you no matter, and singing your songs back to you.
Right.
Jeremiah Johnson, he started out as a rock guy, and his band was Next Red, which is X-Ray spelled backwards, and they did the whole circuit running with Blind Melon and all these other bands, and he said, but his roots were blues and rock and roll, and that's what he got back to. And once he got back into his own self and did his thing, he's one of the hardest working musicians
That's
I know
great.
besides you. He plays every venue he gets his
Right.
hands on.
You don't say no, man.
And Soulard, those small venues, every week he's still playing
Right.
Soulard.
Good for him.
And
Yeah.
he's
Don't
he's
forget
top,
about where you come from.
Exactly.
no, and he's top Billboard charts with all of his songs. I mean, I've probably got 4 or 5 of his CDs, but I mean, he got back to what he loved and what he believed in and what he was about. So, and he says, and he didn't turn out a gig.
And that last time he was here, he was talking about how his wife made him give her his bike and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be riding at Holly, we're making money now with selling these albums, and you got a career you need to
Yeah.
worry about. And
Right.
yeah, he was a pretty down to earth dude, man.
Oh yeah,
Good
he's
guy.
He was
really
a really good
sweet.
guy.
It was funny because my bike that I had, he bought one identical to mine, and then right after that is when he met his girl, and I was like, she's not gonna let
I
you.
guess
keep
we're
it.
not riding.
That's
We'll
the end of
be out
that
riding
one.
Sunday, do we?
He was the only one who had the same dyna that I did, and I was like, oh, awesome, let's go. But then things start changing, so you know how it is. But musicians and motorcycles are kind of a hard combo because they're scared about getting hurt or.
Well, it's
you know,
it's always
and
the other
I get
people.
that,
It's
yeah.
always the other people. It ain't
It
you.
is.
It's the other
I mean,
people you
I-
got to watch out for. You know, they aren't paying
really
attention
is.
because they're on their
People are-
phone or whatever. You know.
People are morons. I can't even. I've got a ton of stories about that. But yeah, I've laid my bike down more than once, and it's just people don't pay attention. They don't give a shit. They really don't. You know.
Well, thanks
So,
for having me. I got to roll.
Thank you. We're gonna play. I don't know which
Good to see you,
song it
man.
is.
Good to see
We're
you,
gonna
brother.
take-
Always.
Always.
We gotta do a picture before you get out of here.
Okay.
But let's go out of here with
Photo
one
op.
of your songs.
You got it.
Like I said, I don't have the names on them, but they're all
She
good.
ain't got my label either. She just does.
Yeah, I got a CD with no names on it.
No, I've got 2. No, he's got 2 CDs. Walter gave them to me. King of the Hill.
Walter
King of the
Ray?
Hill. Walter
I ain't gonna see
Ray.
him, man.
Shout out to Walter Ray.
Yeah.
Oh,
buddy.
Walter,
CD
man.
Warehouse.
I mean, I think Walter Ray is the human
Walter-
thread of St. Louis
He
music.
is
Absolutely.
the
Blues and shit.
best.
No, I mean, for real. That guy, one, knows everybody and connects everybody.
He's such a, he'll tell you,
connects
hook up
everybody.
He's
something,
got
you know?
more trucks that have shit falling
But
off.
he's been
of them.
doing
If
this
you
since
need
we were
something-
kids.
Looks for nothing to gain.
No,
of
he
doing
just,
anything.
he,
He's a real
Walter, shout out to you.
dude. I've
Props
been
to you,
friends with
brother.
Walter since
He is
before I had a
awesome.
driver's license.
Right, you know what I mean? And Walter
Yeah.
just always hooks everybody up.
Get him,
He
Walter
does.
Ray.
He does. He's freaking awesome. Hey, he's been telling me I'm gonna be on your show in 2 weeks for like 3 years now. So
You played that one. That's Lisa.
I played this one.
Yeah,
Wait, I don't want that one. Why is it doing that? Stop. I did play
he
that.
likes it.
No, we're gonna do this one.
Lisa Fisher came back up. She was the backup singer for Rolling Stones for decades.
I was surprised when you said hello. I didn't know what to say. I let you into my life. I didn't have a reason why. Yeah. somewhere deep inside. Everybody has a story to tell. Lord knows I've been through us 1,000 times again, baby. What I don't understand is how it slipped away. All our dreams, they were washed away like a castle made of sand. We were dreaming when we should have been believing in the one thing we had. Tonight is just me and you. It doesn't matter what we do, yeah. And everything is gonna be alright. I never thought I could feel this way, share so much of my soul. All my friends, you know, they talk about you. Does anybody even know how I lost my pride? I broke it down inside, got on my knees, I'm begging God to bring you back to me, baby. I knew it hurt my prayers, 'cause you're coming back. Tell me how you feel, tell me all the things you're keeping inside. Tell me what you need, tell me how to make it right. Baby, I'll do whatever it takes this time. Tonight, it's just me and you. It doesn't matter what we do, yeah. And everything is gonna